And Senate committees unanimously approved the plans Republicans outlined last week. The House endorsed Holcomb's rebate. The Senate bill rejects the rebate in favor of a freeze on gas taxes and utility sales taxes. That'd save you about $70, about a third of what Holcomb proposed. Eric Berman, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
The parents of two kids in Muncie arrested. Kimberly and Jacob Grayson are facing neglect charges because their 6-year-old son got his hands on a loaded gun in their house and ended up fatally shooting his 5-year-old sister Tuesday. Too many illegal drugs coming across the border, says Senator Mike Braun.
100,000 per year overdose deaths nationally, and 2,000 opioid overdose deaths every year in my state of Indiana.
He's blaming the border crisis and questioned White House experts about it in a Senate hearing Tuesday. More at WIBC.com. Alex Palou has been sued by his own racing team. Chip Ganassi Racing is suing the reigning IndyCar Series champion in Marion Superior Court over his contract dispute with the team involving McLaren Racing. Both teams are laying claim to Palou, who says that he has signed with McLaren for next season. However, Ganassi has said that he is still under contract for next year after exercising their option to extend his contract. Traffic on the 5s, Matt Baer.
Inbound 70 slows up Earl Street to the north split, and then on the southeast side, eastbound 465 tightens around Arlington, again 74 to Brookville Road. Rain falling all over the Indianapolis metro area. Lights on, pretty pleased. Traffic sponsored by Audible. Take Audible along this summer and listen to best-selling audiobooks, exclusive originals, and podcasts. Start with a free 30-day trial at audible.com. I'm Matt Baer with Traffic on the 5s. Follow us on Twitter at WIBC Traffic.
Mark loves summers in Indy, but he hates to paint, so he called Rhino Shield.
It's a 2-story home built in 1992. Around 2001, looking at needing to paint, I heard a radio ad, with a Rhino Shield, you won't have to paint again for another 25 years.
That's because Rhino Shield's not paint, it's better.
They're very professional. We had everything done. Everything that would typically be painted on a house was done, and it was very fast.
All right, Indy, get the 25-year guaranteed protection of Rhino Shield right now for 10% off the regular price.
It was done in 2001 and still going strong. From what I've seen on our home, they can easily offer a 25-year guarantee and not worry about it.
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl.
Go Rhino.
Don't paint. Don't vinyl. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
The forecast from the American Standard Cooling Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy skies, scattered showers and thunderstorms throughout the day. We'll finish with a high of around 80. Tonight, cloudy skies with a few showers and thunderstorms overnight, a low down to 68. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
72 with a few showers on radar. I'm Kurt Darling. On the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Engagement Ring Store.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
The Republican Party in Indiana sees zero problem in record spending, in record taxation.
And Casey Daniels.
You went out there and said, please vote for me. You debated other people on why you're the better person for the position. Suck it up.
This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning. Today is Wednesday, July 27th, and things that are trending this hour, the Subway Series. The New York Mets defeated the New York Yankees 6-3 in the first game of the Subway Series. Also trending, Tony Dow. This is the actor who played Wally Cleaver on Leave It to Beaver. He is still alive, despite representatives confirming his death. Finally trending.
Can I just stop you real quick?
Yeah.
I hope as many people who hate me, that's what happens to me. Rob Kendall is dead. Yay! No, Rob Kendall is still alive. Boo!
Wouldn't it be interesting, though, if you were that person and you could see who was mourning your death?
Like, I don't know what state Mr. Dow is in, but if he comes to too. What a story they're going to have to tell him. Yes, you were like a realized Lazarus, rising from the dead.
Look what people said about you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also trending, we have, I don't know, is it Aaron Rodgers or is it Con Air or is it Nicolas Cage? Aaron Rodgers from the Packers arrived at training camp looking just like Nicolas Cage in Con Air, wearing the white T-shirt and jeans and long hair. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC, 8 minutes after 9 o'clock, and it was a busy day over at the State House yesterday, Rob. Indiana Senator Mike Young has resigned from the Republican caucus amid disagreements over the GOP approach to abortion-restricting legislation.
Okay, so there is so much going on right now.
Yeah.
And so much happened yesterday. And I came in today and I said we could probably spend the whole show. And you said, please don't. So
I said, please don't, but there is a lot to get through.
Well, and this is why this show is so popular because, and look, Tony does a great job and Hammer and Nigel do a great job, but we are the local government show. If there is a go-to show in terms of state government or local government stuff, it is here because I spent all those years there and in local government. And this is like Christmas for me because there are so many moving parts and we'll break it down better than anybody else. And so I want to talk about first what happened yesterday, and then we'll get to what is probably about to happen next. And the reason we are so focused on this, and we'll repeat it for people who are new. By the way, hello to everyone watching us in the YouTube chat. Hello, good to see you. Hope you're having a great day. Just put Kendall and Casey WIBC into your YouTube chat or your YouTube browser, and you can watch the show. This is, again, arguably the most important thing that will happen in terms of government in this state in our lives. When you factor in the controversy of the issue in terms of abortion, you talk about lives who will be saved, you talk about the long-term impact politically based on what does or does not happen. This is totally worth all the time we spend on it. And look, with thousands of people over multiple days show up at the State House, clearly it is worthy of spending multiple segments on. So what happened yesterday, the conservative movement, the pro-life movement, awesome. Everybody, Mike Fichter from Right to Life, Micah Beckwith, Monica Boyer, all these people deserve gigantic rounds of applause because they turned out in full force yesterday. Now, you're not going to hear the media report, but that State House, and I've seen the photos, was full of people in blue shirts. The State House is several stories, tall.
Yeah.
They were in all the stories. I've seen the full aerial shots. There was well over 1,000 people there. The pro-life movement on a rainy day did their job. They didn't go to the streets afterwards and pull a Malik Muhammad and behave like a lunatic and shut down traffic like the pro-abortion people did. But in terms of showing up so that all the lawmakers would see you, they did their job. So that was the first part of it. The lawmakers now, the Republicans have no excuse to say, well, nobody cares about this issue or nobody is pro-life. It was 50-50. The abortion lunatics had their day. They filled the State House. The pro-life people had their day. They filled the State House. 50-50. They did their job. Okay. Now, yesterday after the rally, the Senate committee who has the bill, the way it works in bills in Indiana is a committee gets a bill initially. It's a very small group of people, in this case 12. They vote whether to advance that bill to the entire Senate.
And they have to have a majority to do that.
You have to get the majority of the 12 to get out. So yesterday, by a vote of 7-5, so 7 Republicans against 4 Democrats and 1 Republican voted to move this bill on Thursday to the entire Senate. Now, the Republican who voted no, Messmer, said he voted no essentially, if you read through it, because it wasn't anti-abortion enough based on what he'd heard from his constituents. Now, those were not his exact words, but if you parse through it, that's what he said.
Yeah.
So you've got him with concerns on the bill because it's not pro-life enough. 2 of the Republicans who voted yes basically said, and again, I'm paraphrasing, they were against this bill, but they wanted to give it a vote in the Senate and let it go through the amendment process. So right now, if you took the actual people on that committee, were they for it or against it, the majority were against the bill as is written.
But they're hoping to push it forward so that they can add more amendments so that maybe they will end up liking it at the end of the day.
And that is common, and that is not a ridiculous thing that they did. And you all know, everybody knows, I'm the first person to point out if egregious things have happened in government. So it is now moved to the full Senate on Thursday, where people will be able to offer amendments. 2 changes were made to the bill before it was voted on to go to the whole Senate.
Right.
The first change, which is very positive, was that there is now an enforcement mechanism for doctors who break the law and provide an abortion. And that enforcement mechanism, which includes jail time potentially, is very similar to the current enforcement mechanism if you violate abortion law in Indiana, which I believe right now is 22 weeks.
I think it's 20.
You could be right. But the point is, it is essentially mirroring, hey, we're
what's
changing
already
the law.
on the books.
Right. So very positive. It was totally ridiculous that was not in the bill to begin with, but it now is. The other provision, and I believe, and we can get into this a little bit more in the next segment because we're going to talk about what happens next in the next segment, is this is somewhat of a poison pill. And when in politics, what's called a poisoned pill is something is inserted because you want it to fail. This now puts an age restriction, or not an age restriction, a time restriction based on your age if you are a victim of rape or incest on when you can have an abortion.
Yes.
Do you want to give the time restraints on that?
So if you're 15 years or younger, you could receive an abortion up to 12 weeks. If you're 16 years and older, it narrows down to 8 weeks.
Okay, so it comes back to what we talked about, the answer the Kyle Walkers of the world, Republican senator from Marion County, should have to answer. And again, if you extrapolate this and take it out, you always come back to the same thing. You're saying, okay, so a rape life matters based on age at 12 weeks. So at 11 weeks and 6 days, based on someone's arbitrary age, the life doesn't matter. But at 1 day later, it does. Or if it's after 16 years of age, at 7 weeks and 6 days, it doesn't matter. But at 8 weeks, it does. This makes no sense. You either ban it or you leave it in. And I believe that this is going to, and we'll get into next what I heard yesterday when I was at the State House, because I did go yesterday, and as predicted, it was like Elvis, everybody wanting to shake my hand and so much they loved the show. And so hard to get in and out of these places, Casey. But
yes.
I believe this was because Sue Glick, who's the sponsor of the bill, air quotes sponsor of the bill, it's Rod Bray's bill, Colonel Parker Bray's bill, said, essentially alluded to, she is now against the bill, basically, as it exists right now.
Because they put this new ruling in,
Yes.
and she wrote it, but now she's out.
Right. So that is where we are at now. The bill is passed committee with those changes. It will be voted on Thursday. And so this is half your show, so you can decide. Why don't we take a break?
Yeah.
And then we'll talk about this whole thing with Mike Young and what I heard yesterday at the State House that is egregious and wholly believable at the same time.
And also what we think is probably going to happen.
Correct.
Yeah. And what we think, I'll give you just a little tease, is zero resolution. And that's on the way. From Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
This is what's happening.
If you're okay with the slaughter of preborn babies.
New abortion law for Indiana. Both sides were having a hard time.
I'm not talking about men making rules for women.
The latest updates.
You cannot spend your way out of a recession.
We're not going to be in a recession.
We are not in a recession now.
Stay current.
The man who's accused of raping a 10-year-old girl who came to Indiana for an abortion last month.
The story continues.
Is pleading not guilty.
On 93 WIBC.
Hello, Indianapolis. Looking to save money on your wireless bill? You can when you choose Consumer Cellular. Sign up today and you'll get the exact same coverage as the leading carriers for half the cost. This gives you direct access to the widest, most established cellular networks available. Consumer Cellular offers flexible monthly plans with no contract and simple, affordable service that's perfect for your lifestyle and budget. Featuring a wide variety of top-of-the-line phones from Samsung, Motorola, and Apple, you'll find a phone that's perfect for you. Everything is backed by a 100% risk-free guarantee, plus 100% U.S.-based award-winning customer support. Switch your talk, text, and data today and save up to $250 a year. Right-size your plan and downsize your bill with Consumer Cellular. Visit consumercellular.com/Indianapolis to start seeing the savings today.
On August 11th, finally returning to Carmel for one night only at the Palladium, the greatest big band of all time, the Glenn Miller Orchestra.
Pennsylvania 6-5,000.
An evening of jazz, swing, and timeless classics. From New York, the Glenn Miller Orchestra.
Pardon me, boy, is that the Chattanooga Choo-Choo?
Yes, track 29.
Boy, you can give me a shine.
Tickets on sale now at the Center's box office or online at thecenterpresents.org. Presented by DDA in collaboration with the Indianapolis Star and WIBC FM 93.1. The Glenn Miller Orchestra, August 11th at the Palladium.
Think back. Think back to when back or neck pain didn't rule your life. Now, think about standing up to back pain today. Because you can. With highly skilled care from IU Health, Indiana's only nationally ranked healthcare system. Our spine experts use an integrated approach to care and the latest surgical and non-surgical methods, so you can move away from back pain and on with life. Schedule a safe in-office appointment or visit us virtually at iuhealth.org/spine program.
Man, I slept.
New ZQuil Pure Z's Restorative Herbal Sleep is made for people who are tired of being tired.
I've never slept like this before. I've never woken up like this before.
A melatonin-free sleep aid made with a botanical blend that contains clinically studied and effective valerian root, hops, and passion flower, shown to help promote better restorative sleep. ZQuil Pure Z's Restorative Herbal Sleep. Sleep this good, feel this good. Available at retailers near you.
Here at the Almond Joy Factory, where tropical vibes abound, we use soft, fresh-tasting coconut.
The crunchiest almonds and delicious chocolate candy.
Ah, but do you know what our most important ingredient is? Sometimes you feel like a nut.
Sometimes you don't.
Almond Joy's got nuts and something even way better than that. Yes, Almond Joy is made with almonds and joy.
Trust 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning to help keep your AC running strong. Call 855-1-HOUR or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time or you don't pay a dime.
Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
You're listening to Rob Kendall and Casey Daniels.
Oh, hot. Want to touch the hiney.
On 93 WIBC.
Abortion rights supporters say the bill goes too far. Pro-life activists say it doesn't go far enough. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC at 20 minutes after 9. So let's get into part 2 of what happened yesterday.
So if you missed part 1, by the way, hello to everybody watching us in the YouTube chat. Hit that like button if you can take just a second. That really helps us out. We previewed that, or let you know that the abortion bill with changes passed out of the House 7-5. One Republican voted against, said it essentially alluded to it is not nearly pro-life enough.
He said it's near impossible to thread the perfect needle on this.
Right. And this is what we've talked about in the past, and we'll get to that here in a second, about these Republicans trying to make everyone happy versus just doing what they were elected to do. 2 Republicans who voted to move it forward, which got it out of the committee to go to the full Senate on Thursday, said they're against the bill right now. So it does lend credence to what we have talked about, which is what I was told by a very reliable source, that they did not have, they being Senate Republicans, don't have the 26 votes right now necessary to pass this bill. So yesterday, as I mentioned, I went over to the State House to walk around, see what was going on. I tried to get in and out as fast as I possibly could, but as usual, everywhere I go, it's a zoo and people want to talk to me and say hello. And one of the things that I was told by a very reliable source who is high up in the food chain, who shall remain nameless for fear of retribution, and they were very adamant because they like their job that they not be associated with me in public, is, and when we get to this next story, I will totally believe this, is that when old Colonel Parker Bray, Rod Bray, pro tem of the Senate, the greatest snowman in all of the Indiana General Assembly, came out and did his press conference on Wednesday of last week about the abortion bill, many, if not the majority of senators were not made aware of what was going to be in the final bill before it was presented. Which, if true, and given Rod Bray's track record of writing terrible legislation, see the executive powers bill that was overturned by the Supreme Court, is both ridiculously egregious, but yet totally believable, that the establishment would ice and box out senators and write this bill on their own without majority consent to move forward when you had months to get this thing ready to go. And Casey, if indeed that was the case, the only reason you would do that, and a bill that was written so poorly that, as testimony the other day revealed, no one likes this bill,
right?
You would do it so it would fail.
Now, let's talk about what happens if, in fact, it fails.
Okay, before we do that, though, I do want to go back to, and we'll get into this more later in the program, real quick. Mike Young, who is a Republican senator from Indianapolis, has now left the Republican caucus. The Indiana Capitol Chronicle reported this, doing phenomenal reporting. They got the letter. He left the Republican caucus. He is not leaving the Republican Party, but he is leaving the Republican caucus over Bray's handling of a couple different issues. But front and center was Bray's handling of the abortion bill, which tends to give absolute credence to what my little birdie yesterday told me at the State House about Bray totally icing and boxing out almost everyone, certainly conservatives, in this process.
So he's leaving the caucus, which means he's not going to be with this group of senators that discuss the bill anymore, and they're going to kick it over to the House.
Right. So he is out. It will give him freedom to offer different sorts of amendments on Thursday when everyone gets back together. And so, like I said, this is a big deal because this is the first person, and this is why I was urging these senators. People can see I'm getting my mad face on the YouTube chat. I was urging these senators to speak out on their position well before old Colonel Parker Bray, the greatest snowman in the Indiana General Assembly, got up and did that press conference. That way we would know where everyone's at, and we could see, is Rod Bray and the Republican establishment. Because don't forget, if you're doubting me on this, remember, Rod Bray had that big old meeting with Eric Holcomb.
Right.
A couple days before they announced the bill, in which he went into Holcomb's office for over an hour and then came out of there and looked like he'd seen a ghost and sprinted away from reporters and wouldn't answer any questions. What do you think? Holcomb was there urging him to promote pro-life legislation? You think the establishment wing, the Indianapolis wing of the Indiana Republican Party, was pounding their fists saying, protect those babies? No. So you can believe what Mike Young is saying. You can believe what I'm being told by reliable sources. You can believe Rod Bray's actions, which all lend credence to they wrote a terrible bill that makes no one happy on purpose.
On purpose. Mike Young said, I don't want to be a part of a decision that chooses which babies die and which babies live.
And it's exactly what we talked about in terms of now these goofy amendments they put on rape and incest. Well, after 12 weeks, you can't have an abortion, but at 11 weeks and 6 days, step right up. You only do these things if you want them to go away. And Sue Glick, who is the air quote again, author of this bill, we all know it's Rod Bray and Eric Holcomb's bill, even came out in one of, I think it was the Capitol Chronicle, maybe it was an IndyCar article, and essentially alluded to, well, if it doesn't pass this time, then that's okay. We'll deal with it again when we come back in January.
So that's what you think is happening? That they don't want to deal with this. They're kicking it down the road.
We've got to get to the tax.
There's a whole nother part of this.
And I realize you're spending a lot of time on this, but there is so much stuff happening right now, and it all impacts you. And that's why we're putting the time into this, because you need to know what's going on. So why don't we take a break? I'll talk about what I think's happening. We'll talk about this new hair-brain wizard of smart idea the House has in terms of how to deal with giving you as little of your money back as possible.
Are you talking about Senate Bill 3?
Yes, and I'm talking about the House now putting up an idea that they've rejected Republicans, now approving an idea that they rejected not once but twice in previous years because it was presented by a Democrat. The shenanigans that are taking place right now in your state government, we need a whole show to get to all of them.
Good thing we have a whole show. It's called Kendall and Casey, and it's on 93 WIBC.
Hi guys, it's Andrew. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, July 27th, we're running an unprecedented one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pine Grove Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. It's clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. My favorite part is that we can get rid of your ED without any pills. If you're ready to transform your love life, today is your day. Call us now, and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that produces powerful results in the bedroom. You're going to love that, guys. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, worth $1,000. But call today, Wednesday, and qualify totally free. 317-552-1111. That's 317-552-1111. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pine Grove Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 317-552-1111.
Feeling the pinch of higher prices?
Golden Oak Lending can save you money with their low fixed rates.
James Hawkins here, president of Golden Oak. You can offset today's high prices by using the low interest equity in your home to pay off credit cards, make home improvements, or simply put cold hard cash back in your pocket.
Start saving money and skip 2 mortgage payments. Call 317-706-GOLD today.
Golden Oak Landing cured my blues.
NMLS 114937.
Guy Relford for Independent Safe Company located in Noblesville. You know, the worst time to buy insurance for your car is after you've had a wreck. Well, the worst time to buy a safe is after you've had a break-in or a fire that damages those things most important to you. And that's exactly why I made the decision to buy a quality American-made safe from my friends at Independent Safe Company. Whether it's to protect my firearms, my wife's jewelry, our important legal documents, our family heirlooms, whatever it might be, the best way to do that is with a quality American-made safe from Independent Safe Company. Another reason I went with Independent Safe Company is because I was a little worried about how I was going to get a large, heavy safe delivered and installed in my home. Well, the professionals at Independent Safe Company took all those potential headaches completely away, and I was thrilled with the process. So if you've made the decision to buy a quality American-made safe, check out my friends at Independence Liberty Safe, located in Noblesville, at independencelibertysafe.com, or give them a call at 317-214-1437. That's my friends at Independence Liberty Safe, located in Noblesville.
Dear driver, thank you. Thank you for slowing down when you saw the orange cones and road construction signs. My husband is one of those road workers. And today, you saved his life. If you hadn't slowed down, you would have missed that lane change, driven right into the work zone, and you would have killed him. Because you were driving differently. He'll be at our son's Little League game this weekend. He'll be there to walk our daughter down the aisle. He'll be out there tomorrow, making Indiana's roads safer. Thank you.
When driving in a construction zone, be smart, be alert, be in the zone.
This is Ward Daniels, business manager of Labor's Local 120. Everyone deserves a safe place to work. Do your part in the cone zone. Slow down, save a life. We're all in this together.
A message from Indiana's District Council of Laborers International Union of North America and affiliated locals.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Under a criminal microscope, cloudy with some rain on radar, 73 downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 9:31. Former President Donald Trump may soon be facing a criminal investigation.
Attorney General Merrick Garland, at the helm of the investigation into the attack on the U.S. Capitol, asked specifically about former President Trump. Witnesses have met before a grand jury, and those witnesses were asked specifically about conversations with Trump and others in his inner circle who allegedly tried tried to put in Trump allies in place of electors in some states where now President Joe Biden won after the 2020 election.
Fox's David Spunt. Legislation to restrict the private ownership of big cats is expected to pass the House this week. The bill gained increased traction recently due to the Netflix series Tiger King. Co-star Carol Baskin is one of the top advocates and has met with dozens of key lawmakers. The bill would significantly hamper the cub petting industry, in which members of the public pay to play or take photos with tiger cubs or other big cats. And now the stock report. We're up again to start the day. The Dow was up 165 to 31,897. The Nasdaq up 186 to 12,297. And the S&P 500 is up 36 to 3,960. I'm Kurt Darling on The Level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hey, Indiana, start the second half of the baseball season the right way and turn K's into cash and big hits into big wins with FanDuel Sportsbook. Right now, new customers get $150 in free bets. That's guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. Just sign up with promo code WIBC to get in on the action. FanDuel lets you bet the money line, home run props, strikeout totals, and so much more. Plus, you can combine your bets for an even bigger payday with a same-game parlay. If you haven't tried FanDuel, now is the perfect time to give it a shot. Just join up with promo code WIBC and turn a $5 bet into $150 in free bets. Win or lose exclusively on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Use my promo code WIBC. Must be 21 plus in Indiana. First online real money wager only. $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued is non-withdrawable free bets that expire 14 days after receipt. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem, call 1-800-9-WITH-IT.
When the weather turns severe, turn to the WIBC Storm Desk, presented by Technology Recyclers. Business electronics recycling. Visit tech-recyclers.com.
So lawmakers advanced a bill regarding abortion yesterday. The vote was 7-5. And now this bill goes to the House.
Yes.
It's
No. It goes to the full Senate, and then maybe it'll go to the House.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC, 934. Now, before we went on the air today, you and I had our own caucus.
Yes.
And I said, Rob, I've been researching this and keeping up, and we've got to break this down because there's just so much going on, not only with the abortion topic that they're, taking.
Yes.
But also the fiscal side of things.
Right.
There's the Senate Bill 3, and it's just a lot is going on right now.
Well, and so we'll get into the fiscal side here, and look, we're spending the first three segments on this because there's so much happening, and every single part of it affects your life as a Hoosier. Mm-hmm. This is not there's a water leak in Kendallville, Indiana. I don't know why I chose Kendallville, but I did. Not to the people there that wouldn't be important, but that's not everybody in our listening area. What is happening right now on the abortion and the fiscal side is affecting and will affect almost every single Hoosier immensely. And so that's why we thought, we normally don't do this, but it's happening so quick, and you need to be informed because not only is it not over, in many ways, it's just beginning. So real quick to put a bow on what's happening on the abortion side, if you're just tuning in. The bill has advanced out of a Senate committee, which is where it starts, 7-5. There was an amendment put in yesterday, which puts a criminal component in that punishes doctors who do an abortion, and a limit on when there can be, if you are a victim of rape or incest, a limit on when you can get an abortion. So this will now go to the full Senate on Thursday, so tomorrow, and amendments can be offered on this bill, which tomorrow will be the Wild West of Indiana government. I mean, anything and everything could happen till we get a phenomenal bill, till we get the worst bill ever, till we get a bill that ultimately cannot get past second reading and dies a miserable death. So, I mean, all options are on the table. And people need to understand, we are in this position now. And Casey, how I hate above all else to be right. It pains me. And I was watching this unfold yesterday, and I was thinking, gosh darn it, I have to come on the show and tell everybody how right I was. This is the fault of old Colonel Parker Rod Bray, the greatest snowman in the Indiana General Assembly. Because as the Mike Young Republican senator from Indianapolis, resignation from the Republican caucus proves. And as I was told yesterday, Rod Bray iced out the vast majority, if not all, senators in this process. He took this bill on, which is why it is almost as bad as the bill they came up with, Rod and Todd, the Flanders boys, Todd Houston and Rod Bray, to limit executive power. What do we say about that bill? There's no way attorneys wrote a bill that bad. It was designed to fail. There's no way accidentally that happened. Same thing is happening here. And so I would not be surprised tomorrow if by the end of the day, based on the comments of Sue Glick, who said she would be okay if this thing doesn't pass and it comes back in January and they deal with it, if this does not pass the Senate. Now, it very well could, but I would not be surprised if tomorrow on second reading it does not get through the Senate, or certainly by third reading on Friday, it does not get through the Indiana Senate based on what amendments are offered and pass.
If it does get through the Senate, then what happens?
But wait, there's more. It's like a real-life infomercial, right?
Yeah.
The process is still just beginning, because then it will go to the House of Representatives. Now, normally, the House and Senate on matters will pass what they call competing bills. So the House has a bill to deal with an issue, the Senate has a bill to deal with an issue, and then they start working on each other's bills. In this case, one of the Flanders boys, Todd Houston, told Rod, the other Flanders boy, no thanks, you take that one all on your own. You can have all the lunatic protesters, and we will deal with your bill when it comes over, if it comes over to us. So the House has not yet weighed in on the bill. They will get the Senate bill, then they will make changes to the Senate bill. We'll see if they can pass a bill. They may not pass anything, in which case it dies. And then if the House passes something different from the Senate, then they have to get together in a conference and see if they can merge those ideas together in a conference, and then both sides have to pass it again. So remember when we were critical about saying you guys are wasting valuable time when they delayed this thing for 19 days? They took 40 days, compressed into 21 days, which means they got 2.5 weeks to get all this done.
2.5 weeks, and we're only addressing the abortion.
Right. Absolutely. This is the abortion. So
they could run out of time.
Yes.
And not even get to the financial side of things, the fiscal.
But wait, there's more, Casey.
Door number 3.
And the reason we call these people snowmen, obviously in the Elvis movie that is out now, the beginning of the movie deals with Colonel Parker's lengthy career in the circus.
Yep.
And the people in the early days of the circus were called the snowmen because they could convince people to part with their money for just about anything, no matter how ludicrous it was. And part of the being a great snowman was the con itself. Pay no attention to what's going on over here. You look over here. And this is what's happening right now in terms of everybody's focus on the abortion bill, while the House of Representatives is quietly passing a economics bill that is just as stupid as the abortion bill. And they came up with a bunch of new stuff to tuck in this bill yesterday. Of course, they're sitting on, the government, the Indiana state government is sitting on $1,500 basically per taxpayer's money. Not to fund the government, it's extra money that they have overtaxed you. The House proposal as it sits right now, which is the proposal put forth by high tax Holcomb, which, by the way, where is our governor? We'll get to that later on. Nobody seems to know where the governor is. It's only the most important thing that's ever happened in the history of our state. Why would you want the governor to be front and center? That's for later. You see why you need a whole show to get through all this? The House now has passed Holcomb's bill of the $1,500 a year money that they've stolen that they don't have a use for to give you is passing. Let me say, I'm sorry, is passing. To give you 225 of that back.
Right.
And now they've come up with a wizard of smart idea, Casey, to suspend taxes on diapers.
Here we go.
Which I think it was Capitol Chronicle did the analysis. Maybe it was IndyCar did the analysis on this. And on a pack of diapers at Target, it was like $1.29 on each purchase that would save you. Now, here.
$1.92.
Oh, $1.92. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Whoa.
I was thinking, no, you're close. The tax on diapers is normally close to $2.
So this is the most classic government thing ever in which we have stolen $1,500 of every taxpayer's money that we don't have any use for. And we're going to give you $225 back, maybe. Most people still haven't even gotten the original $125 they were owed from this spring. But if you're lucky enough to get that $225 back, we're going to give rebates to specific people on top of that who are doing specific things we like. Sure, we stole everyone's money, but you're only going to get a discount of $1.92 if you're doing the thing that we tell you we want you to do, which in this case would be buy diapers. But what about everyone's money you stole? No. We're going to give you $225 of the $1,500 we stole, and if you do the thing we like, which is buy diapers, we'll give you $1.92 back. Snowmen, pay no attention to what's going on over here, which is the abortion debate, because over here is where the money is getting stolen.
Okay, and if they don't agree by the end of the 3 weeks, this could be kicked down till January, and then we get no money?
But wait, there's more.
I don't buy diapers.
So keep in mind.
I'm past that stage.
Right. And they stole, well, you just moved here. They're stealing your money right now. We all heard about your trip to the BMV. Right. You're getting yours, sister.
Yeah.
The House bill is nowhere close to the Senate bill. It's not like they're arguing should it be $225 or $325. The Senate bill includes no money. That old snowman Colonel Parker Bray put out there includes no money going back to people. And it's a utility discount. Suspension
7% on utilities
over 6 months, which comes out to about a whopping $125. So what's going to happen out of all this, likely, as it's shaping up right now, because keep in mind, you are attempting to do a normal session is either 2 months or 3 months, depending on if it's a short session or a long session. And this is why we said, chop, get to work. This 19-day delay is screwing everyone. You are taking something that should take 2 or 3 months, a complex tax matter. You led us to believe you're going to ram not one, but 2 of these things that you normally need 2 or 3 months. You're going to ram not 1, but 2 of them down in 21 days? Give me a break.
You don't think it's going to happen?
This is why I am the way I am about the Indiana Republican Party. People say, well, why aren't you meaner to the Democrats? The Democrats don't have anything to do with this. The Democrats are irrelevant players in all this. The Republicans control everything. Oh, and by the way, Casey, one little, before I wrap a bow on this and get to something else, the diaper tax refund.
Yeah.
Or cutting the diaper tax.
You're talking about House Bill 1001?
Yes. That language was proposed not once, but twice in 2 different years by Democrats, and the Republicans, not once, but twice,
said no.
Voted it down.
There was a time that they had included tampons in there as well to remove the tax. Which, again, doesn't affect everyone.
The Republican Party in this state is wholly corrupt. It is a joke. It is run by uncreative, generally stupid people. And yet we keep, out of some fear that the Democrats are going to get control and it's going to be so much worse, they're sitting on $1,500 of your money. They stole it. They're not using it. There's nothing funding the government right now that they need that money for. And the best you can do, the best option, let's take away the snowman Colonel Parker Bray's utility tax suspension. The best you're going to get out of this is $225 and $1.92 if you buy diapers. Oh, but Rob Kendall's the bad guy for pointing that out.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. By the way, according to the National Diaper Bank Network, 31 states have tax on diapers. Indiana being among the highest.
But Casey, let's say, well, we want to help parents. Okay, great. You want to help parents.
Right.
Okay.
That's what...
Phenomenal.
That's the goal with
Doesn't
that.
buying gas help parents?
Yes.
Wouldn't suspending
and affects everyone.
Yes. They are. The Republican Party in this state is so wed to the legalized theft of your money and giving you as little of it back as they possibly can, and they are doing it right in front of you. But again, it comes back to the art of the snowman. Pay no attention to the hand under the table. Look over here at this bright, shiny object.
He's Rob Kendall. My name is Casey Daniels. We're trying to make sense of all of it along with you. It's 93 WIBC.
Joint pain is a pain, but you don't have to suffer from it, whether it's arthritis or an injury. You know the traditional treatments you go through, pain meds and steroids and then surgery, right? It's Tony Katz here. There is great news, a better way right here in Indianapolis from the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, and they have offices in Eagle Creek and Greenwood. QC Kinetics is an advanced natural alternative that can give you lasting relief using your body's own healing power. Listen, steroid shots are toxic to your joints. Pain meds are addictive, and nobody wants to go under the knife. It's 2022, and those old ways are out. The new ways are here in Indy. Regenerative medicine can restore and repair damaged joint tissue using natural biologics. No drugs, no downtime, no surgery. QC Kinetics regenerative protocols can address any pain in any joint and give you quality of life you deserve. Call now. Schedule your free consultation. QC Kinetics, 463-235-7160 in Eagle Creek and Greenwood. That's 463-235-7160.
Those who've built their own financial success know that moving forward requires not just the right tools, but an in-depth knowledge of how to use them. That's why Edelman Financial Engines gives you a dedicated wealth planner supported by a team of experts. We know a modern wealth planning relationship demands human insight powered by advanced technology. Our advice is tailor-made for your personal goals, and our investment management approach is based on Nobel Prize-winning research. We model more than 38,000 securities, so we can better stress test your portfolio through thousands of scenarios. See what we can build for you. Call 888-899-4450. That's 888-899-4450. Or visit efewealthplanners.com to get your complimentary financial plan. Edelman Financial Engines. Built for those who built themselves.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel vPro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
In times of fear, World Vision is there for the most vulnerable. For the last 70 years, we've been standing with kids and families through natural disasters, war, and disease, delivering life-saving aid and helping rebuild lives. And with every act of courage, faith, and love, we do more than just stop the spread of fear. We replace it with hope. Learn more at worldvision.org.
The Transportation Secretary has received some support. This is compared to President Biden. A New Hampshire Democratic primary poll asked voters who their first choice for president would be. And guess who came out on top? Buttigieg, our former Hoosier, who's now a Michigander.
Okay, so you lived in South Bend while he was mayor.
Yes.
Right? You are uniquely qualified to answer this question.
I don't know about that, but go ahead.
Because I had but one trip to South Bend, and I went in January of 2020 just to see this city because Buttigieg, name was everywhere. I said, okay, I want to see how he's done with the city. Hell on earth might be a strong description of what I experienced in South Bend. But outside of the Notre Dame campus, which is not even technically South Bend, and a hospital, I think hell on earth might be a sound description. You're the former resident, Casey. What say you?
Well, I lived in the burbs, so that would be like living in the Carmel, Zionsville, Fishers. It was a nice area. And no, I did not really go downtown South Bend for much of anything.
So would you say that there is anything you observed in all your lengthy years living in the greater South Bend area that you would say, wow, maybe this guy will be president someday?
No. It wasn't like, wow, this city has changed a lot for the better. No, businesses were moving out of downtown and moving out into the burbs.
It's really fascinating because there's a new poll out, University of New Hampshire Survey Center Granite poll, that shows Buttigieg beating Biden right now in terms of Democrat preference to run for president. Now, it's within the margin of error. It's very close. Buttigieg 17, Biden 16, and then it's Warren and Newsom at 10 each, and then Sanders is slightly below 10. So it could be off one way or another. But the fact that it's this close shows Biden is in giganto trouble.
Mm-hmm.
And if you think about the last couple of presidents that had primary challengers, Jimmy Carter in 1980 by Ted Kennedy, in terms of viable challengers, Jimmy Carter challenged by Ted Kennedy in 1980, and then Pat Buchanan challenging George Bush in 1992. It didn't end well. Both of those people lost because when you don't have your base united, you got almost no chance to be the president. What's interesting to me, though, is Pete Buttigieg and Rick Perry are almost kind of the same dude. Rick Perry was the governor of Texas. Rick Perry was this good-looking, articulate guy who everybody clamored for him to run for president. And remember in 2012, he held out, then he got in. And when he finally had to get on the stage, within 3 weeks, he was saying oops and forgetting what his departments were that he would get rid of. But the difference is the media is so protective of Buttigieg that if they had been as protective of Rick Perry in 2012 as they are Buttigieg now, Buttigieg is an idiot.
You and I have argued about him quite a bit. Off the air, even when we first met, because you knew that I lived in South Bend for so long. What's your take on this guy? And I said he's straight out of Central Casting for the Democratic Party.
Yes.
He's smart. He's a Rhodes Scholar. He speaks many languages. He was in the military. And you said nobody would know him if he wasn't gay.
Yeah, that is his, and that's his selling point, right? At every turn, that was his selling point. When you hear him mentioned, it is certainly in the lead up when he was running for president, what was this? It's not Rob Kendall saying it.
Right.
It's the media saying it.
Yeah, that was the attention getter for him.
Sure.
And I think a lot of people are drawn to him because he does speak well. And he is a young guy. And he's got the energy. And straight from Central Casting. I think those are part of the reasons why he does so well with the Democrat Party.
But the issue here is, okay, so you are giving your evaluation of decades of living in South Bend that it was... you didn't quite use the term hell on earth, as some of us might, but you were saying...
Well, no, and I never would. I mean, I raised my daughter there, so I don't associate it with that.
But look, it's okay to say if Joe Hogsett ran for president, we would say what a horrific set of conditions Indianapolis has been in under his leadership. There's no... That doesn't make you disloyal to your city or your state because you're critical of the leadership. So he did a horrific job running the city of South Bend. He has the transportation secretary. That's been an abject nightmare.
Right.
I mean, how many fronts have been just a colossal disaster in terms of supply chain, airlines?
I was going to say, when you think about all the flights that have been canceled and all the problems with the FAA.
So there's nothing about Pete Buttigieg in terms of, and God bless him, he was in the military, he should be saluted for that. But in terms of actual governance, whether it is on a local level or a national level, there is nothing you would say about Pete Buttigieg that you would say, wow, he was so great at that. Look at how he excelled, how he turned that around, how he led it to utopian existence. There's nothing about that. So what other than Pete Buttigieg's sexuality is the selling point? What in Pete Buttigieg's actual record of governance? What is different from 2020 when that was the selling point?
Well, we talk about this when you say don't vote based on a letter.
Right.
And there's a lot of people who are still voting based on a letter. And if they're loyal to the Democrat Party and they're going to vote based on the D, they're looking at him and they're saying, same thing. Young, energetic, speaks well, educated, was in the military. Yeah, but they're not listening to the policies. That's why he wins. By the way, Buttigieg got 17 points, Biden got 16 points, and Cory Booker got 14 points. So apparently...
as the second vote.
Yeah, you got to have a B for your last name. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Good morning. Thanks for being here.
Inflating prices aren't stopping anytime soon, and that kitchen or bath remodel you've been thinking about, if you wait any longer, it's just going to get more and more expensive. You need to be planning right now. Tony Katz for Boer Remodeling. Get in touch with Boer now to get on the schedule for 2023 and avoid some of those price increases. Boer Remodeling aims to be the finest remodeler in central Indiana with the best materials and most skilled craftsmen. They'll guide you through the entire process to make your vision come to life. Boer Remodeling, BOOHER. Talk to BoerRemodeling.com to set up your free consultation.
When your celebration of life is prepaid in advance, it becomes a gift from you to your family later, because no one should have to plan for a loss while they're experiencing one. Paying in advance protects your loved ones and gives you the peace of mind you deserve. Let us help you plan every detail with professionalism and compassion. We're Feeney Hornack Mortuaries. Find us at DignityMemorial.com.
Feeney Hornack Keystone Mortuary.
There's a lot depending on your heart, which is why Community Health Network has put the experts and technology in place to provide the most extensive cardiovascular care in your neighborhood. From preventive care to life-saving interventions, our numerous Indiana locations provide the right care for your needs. Because with every heart we save, we prevent another from breaking. To learn more, visit ecommunity.com/heart. Community Health Network. Exceptional care, simply delivered.
At Tire Discounters, we do everything, but not everything.
Thanks for calling Tire Discounters.
Yeah, so do you guys do brakes?
Absolutely.
Shocks and struts?
Yes.
Balloon animals for my kids' party?
Ooh,
All right, oil changes.
Bingo.
Astrophysics?
Can you hold, sir? Hey, Brainiac! Do you know astrophysics?
Yep.
Okay, sir, that's a yes.
How about coolant fluid exchanges?
Of course.
I'm still bummed about those balloon animals, though.
Plus, brakes, shocks and struts, alignment, and more.
How much money have you lost in the stock market? You know, there's a way you could stop the bleeding and potentially make up for some of those devastating losses. It's Terry Stacy. Learn how you could get a competitive return on your money right now and receive a 5, 10, or as much as a 35% initial bonus on your investment. That's right. And you'll sleep well knowing your money is protected by some of the top-rated insurance companies in the world. To learn more, call Bill Demery, my retirement guy, at 317-349-5212. Get a competitive return on your investment that beats the bank and receive a 5, 10, or as much as a 35% bonus on your investment. To learn more, call Bill Demery at 317-349-5212. That's 317-349-5212.
Summer's in Indy, and since 2001, Rhino Shield has been covering Indiana homes and businesses. Just ask Mike.
I was watching TV one night and saw the Rhino Shield ad, and I thought, well, if they can do a house, they can probably do a building.
And Rhino Shield's not paint, it's better.
So they came out and they gave me a price, showed me how the Rhino works, how it lasts, and how the guarantee works.
Business owners, you too can get the 25-year protection of Rhino Shield right now for 10% off the regular price.
They started on the building. They waited for us to leave, and they worked Saturday and Sunday so they wouldn't affect our business at all. This was the great part of it. I came back Sunday night, and you couldn't even tell they were here. There was no paint on the ground. They did a fantastic job.
Here's owner Shane Smith.
This offer is limited, so call me at 888-RHINO-41. That's 888-RHINO-41.
Don't paint.
Don't vinyl. Go Rhino.
Don't vinyl, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Coming up in 2 minutes, some Republicans don't like the proposed ban on abortion in the State House and have voted against it so far. Plus, Parker Carlson reports on a lawsuit headed up by Indiana's Attorney General and another lawsuit between a racing team and their driver. All that and more coming up from the Shepherd Community Center studios after Fox News Radio. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
He has his own truth. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Former President Trump responding on his social media app to reports the Justice Department's investigating his conduct related to the election. He again insists that election in 2020 was rigged and stolen, writing that's what should be investigated. Still claiming the evidence is massive and irrefutable, though the former president's attempts to overturn Joe Biden's win were shot down in courts. This the day after he told a group of conservatives,
"They really want to damage me so I can no longer go back to work for you. And I don't think that's going to happen."
And what the former president did before and during the Capitol riot is also under scrutiny. Attorney General Merrick Garland tells NBC News,
"We will hold accountable anyone who was criminally responsible."
Now, we're also getting from Republicans accusations the FBI is trying to undermine a federal investigation into President Biden's son Hunter's business dealings for political reasons. And Senator Chuck Grassley just told Fox,
"I believe that there were people in the FBI who had partisan views that should never be involved in any investigation that okayed a go-ahead of an investigation of Trump."
We're going to get another interest rate hike today from the Federal Reserve, trying to lower all the high prices we're paying. Fox's Jackie Heinrich is at the White House.
The fourth hike since March, the second increase of its size. But with inflation hitting 9.1% last month, it is looking like these moves from the Fed are not having the impact that they want, at least so far. And ahead of tomorrow's GDP report, the White House is really trying to calm any recession fears, telling people the economy is healthy, even if we see a second consecutive quarter of negative growth.
That is a traditional way to measure a recession, so Republicans accuse the Biden administration of trying to redefine that term. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Not all support it. Some showers on radar, 73 downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:02. An almost total ban on abortion has advanced out of committee in the state Senate, most Republicans voting in favor of the bill, except for Jasper Republican Mark Messmer.
This is one of the most complex issues any of us will ever try to tackle in our lifetime, and this just demonstrates the near impossibility of threading the perfect needle in a compressed, short special session.
The ban's exception for rape or incest would now only apply up to 8 weeks of pregnancy, and for girls under 16 years old, it would apply to up to 12 weeks. The parents of 2 kids in Muncie arrested, Kimberly and Jacob Grayson, are facing neglect charges because their 6-year-old son got his hands on a loaded gun in their house and ended up fatally shooting his 5-year-old sister Tuesday. 22 states have joined a lawsuit co-led by Indiana Attorney General Todd Rokita. Parker Carlson reports.
Rokita and Tennessee Attorney General Herbert Slatery lead the suit against the Biden administration's new rule for the USDA. Federal funding for school lunch programs will be withheld to states unless they comply with a new interpretation of Title IX that includes LGBT protections. The suit claims that is based on a flawed interpretation of U.S. Supreme Court precedents and threatens those states' food assistance funding. Parker Carlson, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Senator Mike Braun questioned Kemp Chester with the White House Office of National Drug Control Policy Tuesday about the influx of drugs into the U.S. due to the increase of illegal border crossings. Chester told Braun that the drug issue goes beyond the border situation.
The problem doesn't begin or end at the southwest border, but rather it is deep in a country where those drugs are produced. It is the conveyances that move them and their raw materials around the world, and they're shipped through multiple means into the United States and into our community.
Which is why he says the issue needs to be dealt with holistically. IndyCar driver Alex Palou is being sued by Chip Ganassi Racing in Marion Superior Court. Both Ganassi and McLaren say that Palou is under contract with them for next season. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hi, it's Steve Mann. Have you heard the commercials for the Mark Patrick Stop Smoking seminars? And they said only $49.99 and it could work for you. So I thought, that's not even a week's worth of smoking. So I went. And guess what? It did work for me. You know, my friends and family are still amazed. I quit smoking. I didn't have cravings, anxiety, or weight gain. Listen, I don't know how it works, but I know it works because I'm living proof, and it's 100% guaranteed. So what do you got to lose? I'll tell you what you got to lose. A very bad habit.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and stop smoking now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Only $49.99 guaranteed. Designed to work without anxiety, irritability, or weight gain for only $49.99. Become a non-smoker. That's right. Seminar times are 8 to 10 p.m. on Thursday, July 28th at the Hampton Inn & Suites in Fishers, and 2 to 4 p.m. on Saturday, July 30th at the La Quinta Inn & Suites South in Indianapolis. Registration 30 minutes before seminar.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's custom design jewelry store.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
The Republican Party in Indiana sees zero problem in record spending, in record taxation.
And Casey Daniels.
You went out there and said, please vote for me. You debated other people on why you're the better person for the position. Suck it up.
This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning. Today is Wednesday, July 27th, and things that are trending this hour. The View. Turning Point USA has issued a cease and desist letter to ABC News asking the company to retract the defamatory statements made on The View. Also trending, Randy Quaid. He has been arrested for squatting in a home he doesn't own.
Again?
Just like in Christmas Vacation.
Didn't this happen to him before?
Him and his wife were,
What, I mean, am I making that up that this happened?
hanging out in a house they don't own.
That this was like isn't that why he went wasn't he on the run from the law?
It's a reoccurring theme for him, huh?
Oh, okay. I was just like, am I on a time warp?
Also trending is Victoria Beckham, also known as Posh Spice.
Oh.
She's finally reuniting with the Spice Girls for a new documentary. She's been the holdout for a while, and now she's finally giving us what we want, what we really, really want.
Before we get into our next topic, which I think everyone will just totally eat up and enjoy, we do want to say hi to everybody watching us in the YouTube chat. You can watch us. Just put Kendall and Casey WIBC in your YouTube browser. And while you're there, be sure to hit the like button. It takes like 1 second and it helps us so much. And look at us. We get all dressed up and everything for you people every single day. That's all we ask. And we greatly appreciate everybody who is watching us. And of course, and somebody said this to me yesterday, and you're very true. It's very true. We have kind of been neglecting our radio listeners, and we celebrate and love you and appreciate you as well. So we did not want you to be left out if you are a person who does it old school and you're in your car or wherever else, because obviously keep your eyes on the road. Thank you, wherever you're listening from.
It's just a shiny new toy we're playing with right now, right? The YouTube. It's 7 minutes after 10. He's Rob Kendall. My name is Casey Daniels. And the Indiana Business Journal named its inaugural Indiana 250.
Oh.
These are the top 250 most influential people for 22.
Ah, okay.
Now, the reason I mention this is because they had a big shindig the other night on July 21st, where all 250 people were there, including WIBC's Tony Katz.
I guess I did not.
He was on this list.
I guess I did not make it, Casey.
You did not make the list. Tony Katz did, though.
Now, look, here's the deal, Casey. And we celebrate Tony. I think it's great. He never comes to work, but he seems like a really nice guy. Here's my question.
Yeah.
Now, Rainwater in 2020 said of the 345,000 votes that he got, and they gave me a plaque, said, I credit about 150,000 of these votes to you and your fabulous articulation of how terrible the Indiana Republican Party and the governor is. Now, I don't mean to underscore what Tony's doing here, and he's doing a lot of great work, and people listen, and I think that's great. But how, by the candidate's account himself, is the guy who is responsible for 150,000 people walking away from the Indiana Republican Party, how am I not on the list? Do they hate my politics that much over there at the IBJ that they left me off this list? 150,000 is nothing to sneeze at.
No, it's not. I don't know. Maybe you should have a talk with the people who make the list, the editor of the Indiana Business Journal.
I don't think it's a conservative or liberal thing. I think I'm so offensive to so many people inside the establishment of both parties. I will never get notoriety of any sort. But all the notoriety I need, Casey, is in the hearts and minds of those who both watch us on the YouTube chat and the people who listen to us on the radio. You're the real heroes.
Now, if you would like to read more about these list of influencers, you can find that information on WIBC.com. It's right there under the side piece. I wrote a fabulous article about it.
WIBC.com. It's a great bookmark the side piece. You'll love it.
Now, the reason I bring this up, this inaugural list of the most influential people in Indiana and their big night out on the 21st is because that's the last time our governor has been out and about.
What?
Yeah.
No way.
Yes. Well, according to all of his social media. He has not been seen since.
So I did a cursory check yesterday because I said, okay, the abortion issue is in full swing. The governor is unfortunately, the face of the Republican Party that has all the power. Surely, and with all these amendments and everything going on, surely the governor is, weighing in on this because the governor, or in this case, the president, in some case, if we're talking national, has to be the closer. In baseball, there's the guy that they call the closer. your best bullpen pitcher comes in and pitches the ninth inning because that's when you got the lead, and usually it's close, and you need somebody who can handle the pressure coming out there and sealing the deal for you. Mariano Rivera, the only person ever unanimously elected to the Hall of Fame, the greatest closer ever. Enter Sandman. So I'm thinking, okay, cue Enter Sandman. Holcomb's, now that we've got the framework of a bill, we've got it out of a committee, Holcomb surely saying something, and I've seen nothing on my local news that I scour through. So I said, maybe it's on Twitter. And the governor from the official Eric Holcomb governor account has not tweeted anything.
No,
in 5 days.
Since he was at that event.
Now, I said, okay, maybe there's something on, as bizarre as this is, his campaign account. Now, he has tweeted more recently on his campaign account, including earlier today, but it's all about economics. Not a hint of abortion in the recent future, or in the recent past, sorry. And I think we'll be able to apply this to the future as well. Not a hint from either the official governor account or the campaign account from the governor of the state of Indiana on arguably the most important issue he or the Indiana General Assembly will ever deal with. How is that possible?
Well, I did find out. I even went to his Instagram page.
Yeah, I didn't know he had one.
Maybe there's something there.
The fewer pictures I see of him, the better.
But I did find that the first dog, Henry Holcomb, has been active on social media.
What? Really? Is he weighing in on abortion?
No.
Oh.
But the first dog has been more active than the governor.
When was the first dog's last whatever?
2 days ago.
Oh.
He's very cute. It's a miniature schnauzer dog, Henry Holcomb. I like a schnauzer.
I know you love the schnauzers, and that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their favorite dog, and I think that's great. But I'm going to say this slowly, and people who watch us on the YouTube feed know when I look into the camera, I'm being very serious. I'm going to turn around over here and look into this camera. How is it possible that the governor of the party in power with supermajorities in the legislature has said nothing on arguably the most important issue he will ever face, on an issue that he and his party have fundraised and campaigned and won elections on for 30 years, including when he was head of state party under Mitch Daniels? How is that possible to have radio silence from the governor of the state on this issue? And I'll leave that up to you to interpret.
He's Rob Kendall. My name is Casey Daniels. It's 93 WIBC. Let's move to Clark County.
Oh.
Can we?
Yes.
A federal civil rights lawsuit has been filed. In it, claims a jail officer sold keys to inmates, allowing them to terrorize female inmates.
WIBC has this story up. You can read the story at WIBC.com. And this is, now again, this is, unlike Todd Rokita, we will check our boxes here. And we will say these are allegations. Nothing has been proven.
The lawsuit claims that the jail officials punished the female inmates.
Basically, what they're saying, correct me if I'm wrong here, Casey, is that 8 women, according to the WIBC.com report, allege they were sexually assaulted, and that they are naming a former jail officer, other unnamed officers, and the big fish in all of this is the Clark County Sheriff Jamie Knoll. Now, Clark County is Jeffersonville. It's southeastern Indiana. If you're looking at the map, you go past Jeffersonville, you get to Kentucky. And Jamie Knoll is a very high-profile player in the Indiana Republican Party. He's very close to the governor. He's a very prominent person. Now, this lawsuit alleges that David Lowe, the officer named, sold jail keys to 2 male inmates for $1,000 on October 23rd, 2021. And after that, they have dubbed it, the female inmates have dubbed this a night of terror that includes rape, assaults, and harassment that went into the morning of October 24th. One victim is alleging that she contracted genital herpes out of the attack. Now, again, these are all just allegations.
Right.
They could be totally baseless. But I asked somebody in law enforcement yesterday, because this is so outrageous, is this even possible this could be true? And they said it could.
Yeah.
It's not out of the realm of possibility. If it is, this is horrific beyond anything imaginable. Now, again, it doesn't mean it's true. It'll all play out in a court. It doesn't mean, everybody that is, if it did happen, that it happened exactly as I said, you don't know yet. Mm-hmm. But the allegation of this, the fact that this would happen in a government-funded institution is unbelievable.
So the plaintiffs are seeking damages and a jury trial. Lowe faces criminal charges. He's charged with trafficking with an inmate, official misconduct in aiding, inducing, or causing escape.
So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. You're listening to Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Thank you for being here this morning.
This is what's happening.
If you're okay with the slaughter of preborn babies.
New abortion law for Indiana. Both sides were having a hard time.
I'm not talking about men making rules for women.
The latest updates.
You cannot spend your way out of a recession.
We're not going to be in a recession.
We're not in a recession now.
Stay current.
The man who's accused of raping a 10-year-old girl who came to Indiana for an abortion last month.
The story continues.
He's pleading not guilty.
On 93 WIBC.
Hey, how would you live your life if you could wake up each morning knowing there was enough money coming in to not only cover your basic needs, but also your goals and dreams as well?
The mission at the Singer Financial Group is that they want to work with people who expect their relationship to be transformational rather than transactional. If that's what you're looking for, you should connect with the Singer Financial Group. 317-852-9153. That's 317-852-9153. Or go to singerfinancialgroup.com. Schedule a discovery meeting and see how the retirement income money map planning process could transform your life. 317-852-9153.
Investment advisory services offered through registered investment advisors Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, and AE Wealth Management, LLC. Working with Singer Financial cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
8 years ago, we started climbing mountains to raise dollars and awareness for children battling cancer. Over the years, we've summited some amazing peaks, raising hundreds of thousands of dollars for our partners. On August 13th, we head down to South America for our biggest climb yet. Chimborazo is over 20,000 feet tall, and we are climbing it to raise money for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Learn more about our climbs and make a donation today by visiting keepclimbingfoundation.org.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
He's just a little crazy.
He's a little crazy. And Casey Daniels.
Oh, man, she's fascinating.
On 93 WIBC.
Giving you everything, all that joy.
So Target dropped 4.2%. Macy's slid down 6.5%. Kohl's fell 8%. One of your favorite stores.
Yeah.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So we're expecting the GDP to come out tomorrow, those numbers, and we're kind of losing some ground on the stock market. I could keep going. Microsoft was down 3.5%. Amazon was down 5.3%. Facebook Meta was down 4.5%. And the central bank is expected to announce a rate hike up to 0.75% point today. That could triple the usual amount.
So let's put the Biden presidency in perspective.
Okay.
And the tides, ebb and flow, and sometimes things are better than others. Do you know how bad, Casey, you have to be to screw up Walmart? Like, Walmart is one of those giganto institutions that should be based on what they sell, how they sell it, who they cater to. And I say this, you people, who they cater to, what are you talking about? I'm saying me. Like, I shop at Walmart all the time. So I can say this. Based on all of those things and their advantages in supply chains, infrastructure, Walmart should be recession-proof. Like, no matter what is going on, Walmart should, if not thrive, on some level at least tread water. And when you can cause Walmart to lose 7.6% of its value in a single day in terms of stock price, you've got to try to create an economy that bad. It's Walmart. It's Walmart.
They warn that inflation is impacting consumer spending power. They said that it's rising prices on food and gas, and these are the things that are forcing their shoppers to cut back on some of their more profitable discretionary items, like clothing.
I will repeat myself, though, Casey. It's Walmart. And again, you may have an ebb and flow in terms of, wow, Walmart stock is way up. Wow, Walmart went down a little bit. Walmart lost 7.6% of its stock value in a single day. That is people opting out on Walmart.
Yes. Technology and communication stocks were also hit big. And I thought this might be a good time to get some advice. Of course, we advise you to consult your own financial advisor. But this guy said some stuff that sounded pretty good.
Yeah, there you go.
Sound advice. Let's take a listen.
These 12 sentences about personal finance taught me more than my $80,000 business degree. And number 12 is the most important one. Like it or not, who you choose as your spouse is a financial decision as well as an emotional one. Choose wisely. Prioritize having a 3-month emergency fund. Unexpected expenses will arise. Don't get caught with your pants down. After the emergency fund, prioritize paying off high interest debt. You're not going to out-invest a 20% interest rate that you have on a credit card. Have a budget. A good basic framework is 50% needs, 30% wants, 20% savings and investments. Invest your money. You will work until you die if you don't. Low-cost index funds are a good way to do this. If you borrow money for college, make sure it's for a high-paying career path so you're at least able to pay the loan back. Prioritize your health. Exercise, eat healthy. A healthy person has a million wishes. A sick person only has one. Saving $5 on coffee isn't going to make you rich. Saving money on the bigger decisions, the ones that end in zeros, like your home or your vehicle, will go much further. Live below your means. 64% of people live paycheck to paycheck, but you don't have to be one of them. Learn from the ones that did it before you. Read books, listen to podcasts. More learning, less Netflix. Automate your finances, bills, savings, investments. This is going to make your life a lot easier. Finally, trying to get rich quickly is how a lot of people end up broke.
I thought he had some good points there. I really like the one about health. Exercise, take care of yourself, because a healthy person can have a billion wishes and a sick person only has one.
Every day when I get home, I think I'm not going to eat that today. My whole way home from work, because most people know, and we even heard somebody joke with us yesterday, I think you heard it, that it was, I come off the show, I come home, I eat a little lunch, and then I take a nap. And that has become a fan favorite of many people for some reason. I always think when I'm driving home, I'm not going to eat that today. I'm going to be healthy. I'm going to take a better approach. And then I get home and I say, I'm going to eat that today.
Let's talk about Mike Pence and his new book.
Great.
He has a memoir coming out. It's called So Help Me God.
It's called what?
So Help Me God.
Now, Casey, I really thought it would have been titled How I Was About to Be Fired Until Donald Trump Saved My Ass. He didn't go with that.
No, he didn't.
And can I just say the cover price on this book, how outrageous that is? $35.
Oh, I didn't see the price.
Yeah,
really?
$35 cover price on Mike Pence's book.
Okay.
What possible reason other than to hear how Mike Pence has avoided having a real job for 20 plus years, what possible reason would there be to care at all how I underachieved as a governor, how I didn't follow through on my campaign promises, how apparently I think Joe Biden must have got 81 million legal votes because I certified the election, how I've gone 20 plus years without having a real job and leeching off the taxpayers? What possible reason would there be to care about anything that guy has to write about?
It's going to debut on November 15th. It recounts his journey as a youth in Columbus, Indiana, all the way to the vice presidency. And apparently the book offers the most robust defense of the Trump record of anyone who served in the administration.
This drives the Mike Pence people crazy because, gosh darn it, I give those people credit no matter how much tangible evidence is put in front of them that this guy achieved nothing as a congressman, achieved even less as a governor, and vice presidents don't do anything other than apparently say they believe Joe Biden got 81 million legal votes and then act like on some sort of moral high horse because people raised their hand and said, oh, that doesn't seem exactly right. Mike Pence, if he wants to run for president, is going to have to answer this question. And you can be mad at me because those Pence people hate me because I tell the truth, because I was around the guy and worked under the guy and saw the government under the guy. So you can hate me if you want. But Mike Pence is eventually on a stage going to have to answer. Do you believe Joe Biden got 81 million legal votes? And if the answer is yes, then God bless you. You've been honest. Good luck winning a Republican primary on that answer. Oh, and if the answer is no, then why'd you certify the election?
Politicians who have written books before being elected: Biden, Trump, Obama, Jimmy Carter, JFK, Theodore Roosevelt, George Washington. And you know who else just recently wrote a book?
Who?
Michelle Obama.
Oh.
It's called The Light We Carry.
Oh, well, of course it was. How I bought a $15 million mansion on the coast that I claimed was about to cave in. She didn't go with that title.
We have somebody else who wrote a book, and it was you, Rob. And we've got Hammer, who's going to be joining us in just a bit, and he's going to do a dramatic reading from it today, I hope. But up next, we're going to speak with Jeff Moore. He's running for Secretary of State.
Yeah, we got a big shindig tonight.
And, well, he's on deck from 93 WIBC.
Hi guys, it's Andrew. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, July 27th, we're running an unprecedented one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pine Grove Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. It's clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. My favorite part is that we can get rid of your ED without any pills. If you're ready to transform your love life, today is your day. Call us now, and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that produces powerful results in the bedroom. You're going to love that, guys. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, worth $1,000. But call today, Wednesday, and qualify totally free. 317-552-1111. That's 317-552-1111. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pine Grove Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 317-552-1111.
Feeling the pinch of higher prices?
Golden Oak Lending can save you money with their low fixed rates.
James Hawkins here, president of Golden Oak. You can offset today's high prices by using the low interest equity in your home to pay off credit cards, make home improvements, or simply put cold hard cash back in your pocket.
Start saving money and skip 2 mortgage payments. Call 317-706-GOLD today.
Golden Oak Lending cured my blues.
NMLS 114937.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get internet and security for just $60 a month when you add mobile and save $480 your first year. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Limited time offer, restrictions apply. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. New Comcast Business 250 megabits per second internet and Security Edge customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment installation, taxes, and other fees extra and subject to change. Must add mobile within 90 days of internet install and keep all services for 12 months to receive discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most Root Metrics 5G data reliability wins in 2H 2021. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
Marian University Preparatory School is a faith-based online private school currently enrolling grades 6 to 9. Financial aid is available. Visit k12.com/Marian, k12.com/MARIAN. As a parent, you want the best education for your child. Choose Marian University Preparatory School for this school year. Their faith-based online private school is currently enrolling students in grades 6 through 9. Your child will benefit from their personalized college prep curriculum and supportive community. Financial aid is available through the Indiana Choice Scholarship. To learn more about the unique educational experience of Marian University Preparatory School, visit k12.com/Marian. That's k12.com/MARIAN.
So, first day at your new job. A lot of nerves, right? Not really. Why? Because when you were getting your associate degree at Ivy Tech Community College, you received hands-on training on state-of-the-art technology. Most of it the same equipment you'll be working on today. You're ready because the staff and faculty at Ivy Tech made sure of it. They met you where you were at, then helped you get where you were going. A new career paying $10,000 more a year than what you can get with just a high school diploma. And it all started at ivytech.edu.
Want to express the heartwarming message that says love is all about being together? Let a Pierce Jewelers diamond engagement ring be that symbol that says I love you. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
Hammer and Nigel here, inviting you to join us as we kick off the weekend every Friday around 5:45 with Beer Sample Friday, brought to you by our friends at Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Another hike. A few showers on radar, 73 downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 10:32. Stocks opened higher this morning as investors wait for a key decision from the Federal Reserve. The Fed will be raising interest rates later today. It's expected to raise rates by 0.75 percentage point, means to slow inflation. An American being held in an Iranian jail is out on bail. Fox's Jillian Wu.
Iran has granted bail to a British national who also holds U.S. and Iranian citizenships. Environmentalist Murad Tabaz, arrested in 2018 and convicted of working for the U.S. as a spy, now reportedly released with an electronic bracelet. This comes a day after a top European Union official said he proposed a new draft text to revive the 2015 Iran nuclear deal. In recent years, dozens of dual nationals and foreigners have been arrested, mostly on espionage charges by Iran, which rights activists accuse of using detainees as bargaining chips. Lillian Wu, Fox News.
Remember murder hornets? Well, you're not supposed to call them that anymore. The Etymological Society of America says it plans to rebrand the insect as the northern giant hornet. The insect can grow to more than 2 inches long and, with multiple stings, can kill a human. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It's 10:33 with Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC, and you got a shindig tonight, huh?
Yes, it is, as our audience knows, very rare anymore that I do causes of any sort as they relate to politics. And that is because for basically 6-7-ish years of my life, I did nothing but causes and helping others in politics every single day, which is why I had to get out of it, because I was going to drop dead of a heart attack or a stroke by the age of 35. And thankfully now at 38 that I'm still here and having the time of my life. That proved to be a good move. And we always laughed that I was kind of like the James Earl Jones character in Field of Dreams, where he's going for the hot dog and he asks him, what do you want? And then the rant that happens with that. But the older I get, the more and more on occasion I recognize that we have a tremendous platform here and a tremendous audience that is inquisitive and wants better government. And as such, if I can on occasion use my voice to help facilitate better government in our society, I have an obligation to do that. And tonight is one of those opportunities where I have said, okay, I will do this for you. Our old pal, Jeff Moore, who is the Libertarian nominee for Secretary of State, total rock star, great guy, will be a phenomenal asset to that office, is having a fundraiser tonight. And, I hate to brag, Casey. I just hate to brag about myself. But, usually there's, like, in the past been 6 or 7 people that would normally show up to a Libertarian fundraiser. And in this case, it not only sold out, but they offered more tickets, and all of those sold out. And I think that's saying 2 things. One, it is talking about the immense popularity that we have, that people will flock to see us. And 2, it's talking about how people are interested in something better and something different in terms of their government. They're sick of the Republicans. They're sick of the Democrats. and they want to be a part of something.
I think it also has to do with the part that you have helped educate a good portion of the population here in central Indiana on the importance of the Secretary of State office.
Yes, it is arguably the most important statewide elected office that nobody ever talks about, and we've dug deep into this many times about from business licensure to elections and a whole bunch of points in between that people need to wake up when they vote this fall, because right now on the two old party sides, it's the local goof, Diego Morales, who was fired from the Secretary of State's office. At least that's what the paperwork says. And then was about to get fired again. At least that's what the paperwork seems to say before he quit. And then you got a radical Democrat. And so somewhere right down the middle of and someone who's highly competent seemed like a pretty good choice for me. So a little bit earlier today, we had Jeff stop by and talk about this very fabulous high-profile event we're having tonight. Take a listen. All right, Jeff, I have my fancy clothes laid out. I have my tie ready to go. I have no speech prepared, but that's okay because I never have a speech prepared. You and I have a big fancy shindig tonight. What is going on?
Well, good morning, Rob. Good to be with you as always. Good morning, Casey.
Hello.
So tonight is one of the pleasures of campaigning, and we get to have a fundraiser. So that is bringing all of my friends together in one room at one time, and we get to talk about the issues that are important to all of us. And I'm very glad that you'll be there, Rob.
Now, this is a big fancy fundraiser. It is at this historical home. It was very tickets were sought after because we didn't make a billion tickets available. Tell us about this event that sold out, and then we added more tickets, and those sold out. Tell us what's going on.
Right. So this is at a private home, one of the supporters of the campaign, and they live downtown. It's a historic home. So it will be a really nice, intimate setting. We're going to have some bourbon tastings. We're going to be talking about the issues, and there may be some surprises, good surprises, and good things to share. So stay tuned for later.
Okay, so let's talk about the issues. Audits.
Audits, that's the key thing out there, and that's what Hoosiers are responding to best and the thing that we're focused in on most. So we have our elections. We have a process for those. And then just like anything in life, you'd expect to just double check it, right? That's what an audit is. And the problem with auditing elections in our state is that it doesn't really happen. We have what the Secretary of State calls an audit, but it's really an audit of only the equipment. It's not an independent audit, so the organization really reports to the Secretary of State, so it's not an independent outside audit.
It's just like checking yourself. Isn't it? I mean, it's like there's no other person accounting for you.
Right. Did I leave my keys in the car? I check my pockets, right? And did I leave my wallet on the counter or the table? Did I leave my phone on the counter? These are things that we check. It's just a natural behavior. It helps us be better. And we're not doing that. So not only they're not independent, but these are really secret. The results of the audit are not published.
Wait. So they do an audit of the public election and you don't get to see the results of the audit of the public election?
No one gets to see it.
What's the point of it then?
That's a great question. What is the point of it? And what are they hiding, right? If it's a good audit as they promise, then what are they hiding and why won't they publish it? So there's one sentence, the entirety of one single sentence on the Secretary of State's website. And I'll quote it. So anyone can go look it up. If you search for Indiana Secretary of State election audit, this is what you'll get to. In every race audited, the election outcome was confirmed with high levels of statistical assurance above 90%.
Look at what a great job we did. Trust us.
Exactly. So here's the part that gives me cold chills. Ready? It's above 90%, which could mean that if we lose 1 out of 10 votes, that's great. We think that's a great election. Now, we don't know what that actually means because we don't see the audit. We don't know what that is. But I can tell you, Rob and Casey, that's not good enough for me. If my computer doesn't start 1 out of 10 times, if my phone crashes 1 out of 10 times, if 1 out of 10 airplanes falls out of the sky, that's not good enough.
Yeah, Jeff Moore, the Libertarian nominee for Secretary of State, is our guest. We got this big By the way, happy birthday. What was this, your 25th birthday yesterday?
Perhaps the 15th celebration of my 25th birthday, but yes.
And we've got a big event tonight. I do want to come back to this audit in just a moment that Casey asked about, because I think it's very important. But I also want to talk about where you're at. And look, it's easy for us. We love to brag here, Jeff. I don't know if you're aware. I have a big ego. Casey's very modest and humble. Mm-hmm. But when an event sells out, I look around and go, well, duh, I'm going to be there. Of course, people wanted to be there. But Libertarians used to struggle to get anyone to come to fundraisers. Mm-hmm. You not only sold out a fundraiser, when you opened more tickets up, you sold all of those out. Clearly, there is now an interest in the Libertarian Party in the state of Indiana.
That's right. And you could see even fundraising dollars were published from the quarterly campaign reports. And we're certainly well behind our Democrat and Republican opponents in terms of outright fundraising dollars. But one of the things that's an interesting trend nationally is that small dollar donations to Republican candidates are down dramatically. And as we know, that smaller dollar donations are the single greatest indicator of election performance because it really represents sort of the will of the people. And if we see that lack of confidence in the establishment, means that there's opportunity for Libertarians, for third party, for pretty much anybody who's saying enough is enough. I'm exhausted and fed up with the empty promises and the secret performances. I want transparency. I want accountability. I want a government that works for me. And that's where Libertarians are really stepping forward to solve that.
Now, you mentioned the secrecy, and let's go back to the audits really quick. What do you propose to change about that?
So there are a few things that we should do. First, we need to audit all 92 counties. Currently, we only audit 5. That's it. That's less than 5%.
Is it always the same 5?
Well, that's a good question. We don't even know how they pick those 5.
Because we don't get to see it.
They could sit down and say which counties were honest, and let's audit, quote unquote. I'm doing air quotes here in the studio. Let's audit those 5 counties that we know did the right thing. So we have no idea. They pick the counties, they pick the races, they pick the machines, they pick everything. So it's not really an audit at all. It's just a selective performance. And that's the secrecy that I want to draw light to. So what I'm talking about, to answer your question, Casey, is a complete audit of all 92 counties, a random sampling, if not a complete sampling of all the races. And one of the key differences is I want to audit that independently, and I want to have that done before the election is certified. Mm-hmm. So think about this for a minute. The Secretary of State certifies the elections typically within 30 days, and that's months before the audit's done. What does that signature mean? It means I certify that everything's correct, but they have no idea if that's correct. Those two things need to be reversed. We need to audit and then certify elections.
Jeff Moore, who's the Libertarian nominee for Secretary of State, is our guest. We got a big event tonight. I'm so excited about it. Do I have a time limit on how long I can talk tonight?
We can just replay the segment if you like, and we could lip sync it. Whatever you like.
Because Rainwater in 2020 just said, let it roll, Rob. You go for as long and as short as you want. And he was pretty good. But, I want to be respectful of the people who are in attendance tonight.
Well, I appreciate that. We're all Libertarian, which means we all sort of be as free as we like. So, Rob, whatever inspires you.
When you look at the role of Secretary of State, and you just talked about, and Casey asked some great questions in regards to the auditing, which is super important. But I keep coming back to, and maybe it's 1A and 1B. I think the most important role the next Secretary of State is going to have is standing up to the governor in terms of whatever Wizard of Smart Ideas lockdown McGee gets if he decides he wants to get fancy and shut the state down again. And we all know, don't threaten him with a good time. The Secretary of State will be the last line of defense in terms of being able to keep businesses open, because the big threat was, right, we'll stick the health department on you. You could lose your business license. And I know we've talked about this before, but I think it's so important for people to keep that in mind when they vote. You're kind of voting for the next check and balance on the governor of the state of Indiana.
That's exactly right, Rob. And it's check and balance is the right term. So these are independently elected constitutional positions. They are created and crafted in our Constitution of 1816. It's defined that the governor and lieutenant governor are separate from the Secretary of State. These are meant to be a check and balance. And so as the constitutionally elected office holder, as Secretary of State, my boss is we the people, we the voters and people of Indiana. It is not, I don't answer to the governor. I don't answer to another office here. And my responsibility fiduciarily and morally and legally is to the people. Obviously, working within the bounds of our society of laws, I'm not going to do something illegal, but when there is an overreach, or certainly a gray area at the very least, of constitutional overreach by the executive, then it is my responsibility, my duty to step in and protect the rights of the citizens who elected me.
Okay, I'm going to play a little exercise here, Casey. I'm going to spring this on Jeff, and I want to see how this goes.
Okay.
Because we have long been able to say, when I ask you what you do, you should be able to fit it on a napkin.
Right.
And one of your opponents, I know what he says he does, Diego Morales, but I still have no idea what he actually does. So, Jeff, I'm going to ask you this and see if you can fit it on a napkin. What do you do for a job?
I'm a fundraiser for a nonprofit called Students for Liberty.
Oh, and what do they do? What does Students for Liberty do?
Students for Liberty, I'm so glad you asked. Students for Liberty is the largest student-run organization that focuses on developing leaders in the liberty movement. So we focus on free markets and free speech. We're a global organization operating in every continent, in every time zone, with dozens of currencies and dozens of languages. It's truly a privilege to be part of this organization that creates a new generation of liberty leaders.
So when you say you're a fundraiser, that means that you go out and try to get corporate sponsors or just everyday man on the street to give that organization money.
Every nonprofit has its own niche of funding. Ours are all private, and you can see this. We filed 990 forms, so you could read our filings. This is, again, talk about transparency. This part's all public. You can see the names of many of our donors. There's no government funding, but many of them are private individuals. Some are foundations as well, but there are not corporations.
See how easy that was, Casey, when you ask someone what they do for a job and how much detail they'll go into about what they do for the job, and how you can view exactly what they do at that job and how much, essentially, I guess, probably how much money they make. That's how it should be, right? And
do you think he needed a cocktail napkin, or is that just a regular napkin?
The dude was willing to write a whole book on it, which is phenomenal, and that's what you should expect from your. It's unfair to say, look, your public servant should be able to tell you, here's what I do, here's how I get paid, and here's where I work, right? I mean, that's a pretty fair thing to ask, right, Jeff?
I think so, and I think that as what we've moved away from as a society is the thought that people who serve in government are citizen servants. There is a higher level of and higher expectation for that transparency. If I wanted to remain a private citizen, that's my choice. I can do that. I should have the privacy, run my business, live with my family, go to church, do as I please, and that's private. But the privilege of serving others and serving in our government requires a certain degree more transparency, requires more openness, and that should be forthcoming. And that's part of who I am, part of the philosophy that I bring to any government role, which is it is a service to the people, and that means I have to be held, and I have to hold myself to a higher standard.
All right, if people want to know more about you, the campaign for Secretary of State, or any other things, how can they do that?
There are many different ways to hear about the campaign, but the easiest is to go to the website, and from there you can get to Facebook, Twitter, and beyond. So that website is maurer4indiana.com, MAURER for Indiana.com, all spelled out.
93 WIBC, it's Kendall and Casey Show. Garage Doors of Indianapolis has been a local, family-owned and operated business for nearly 50 years and helps keep central Indiana's economy strong by employing over 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis stands by their products and services while they share and embrace our conservative values. So when you have garage door problems, call them today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis, 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Hey, it's Big Joe for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, Reinhardt Heating and Cooling. Kevin Reinhardt says this family-owned business has a lot of pride in their work.
Danny started the business back in 1986 here in Danville, and we take a lot of pride in the town of Danville with a lot of repeat customers, people that I've known basically all my life. And it's just nice to continue to do the service that they trust for over 30 years.
You can trust Reinhardt Heating and Cooling, 317-745-4526. Reinhardt is your trusted local independent American Standard dealer.
Everything is more expensive these days. Gas, groceries, you name it. One thing you can't put a price on is peace of mind, which is why I am a AAA member. I remember one day I got to work, my battery died in my car. AAA was there within 40 minutes, put a new one in, and I was on my way. Whether it's a flat tire, dead battery, you're running out of gas, AAA is there 24/7. And if you're a AAA member, you can get discounts on all sorts of stuff, hotels, rental cars, restaurants. My AAA membership is even going to get me into the Indiana State Fair for free on AAA Day on August 17th.
So if peace of mind on the road combined with more dollars in your pocket sounds like something that you'd be interested in, join AAA today. To get your AAA membership, visit AAA.com, call 844-GO, AAA GO, or stop by your local AAA office. And don't forget to save the date for AAA Day at the Indiana State Fair, Wednesday, August 17th. AAA members get in free. Details at AAA.com.
Joint pain is a pain, but you don't have to suffer from it. Whether it's arthritis or an injury, you know the traditional treatments you go through, pain meds and steroids, and then surgery, right? It's Tony Katz here. There is great news. A better way right here in Indianapolis from the local medical professionals at QC Kinetics. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine, and they have offices in Eagle Creek and Greenwood. QC Kinetics is an advanced natural alternative that can give you lasting relief using your body's own healing power. Listen, steroid shots are toxic to your joints. Pain meds are addictive and nobody wants to go under the knife. It's 2022 and those old ways are out. The new ways are here in Indy. Regenerative medicine can restore and repair damaged joint tissue using natural biologics. No drugs, no downtime, no surgery. QC Kinetics regenerative protocols can address any pain in any joint and give you quality of life you deserve. Call now. Schedule your free consultation. QC Kinetics, 463-235-7160 in Eagle Creek and Greenwood. That's 463-235-7160.
Here's Terry Stacy to tell you what's going on with WIBC.
Head to WIBC.com and take our Get to Know the 2022 Indiana State Fair quiz, and you'll be entered to win a family 4-pack of tickets valid July 29th through August 21st. Join Hammer and Nigel on August 5th for a live broadcast and beer sample Friday at Thompson Furniture in Columbus from 3 to 7 p.m. Follow WIBC on social media. You'll find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube.
Grab more info online at WIBC.com.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
His pronouns are he, him. His adjectives are funny, outgoing, analytical, and outspoken. I'm talking about Hammer from the Hammer and Nigel show.
I'm wearing some cargo shorts and a plaid shirt.
Those would be descriptions.
Yes.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Good morning. Are you ready?
I think so. Like, it depends on what you're talking about.
Are you ready to do a dramatic reading of the Rob Kendall novella, Path Less Traveled?
All right, so real quick, let's set this up that you guys had promoted my Off the Rails segment, and you had used a picture of my book with googly eyes on it that I wrote about 10 years ago.
Now, the googly eyes were not something you put on.
Right. No,
somebody here did that.
Yes. And then several people went out and bought this book based off of that, which is available on Amazon.
You're welcome. That's the power of the Hammer and Nigel
that's
show.
$7 a book I'm getting. I'm just going to be rich here sometime soon. And I thought it was funny because I wrote this thing 10 years ago. It was long before I'd done so many of the great things I've done in my life. And so I found when I was moving 2 boxes of these books, which come out to, I think, about 100 of these books. Mm-hmm. And so I said, I'm going to come up with a way to get these to our listeners and offer them to the listeners. And we're going to announce that tomorrow of what we're going to do if you want this book. And before we did that, I said, I'm going to let Casey read it and tell us, you should buy this book because it's the worst book you've ever written or ever read or the best book you've ever read. And your synopsis, having read some, if not all, of the book last night, the rantings of a madman, Rob Kendall, in his 20s, was?
Some people are better at the spoken word.
Rob Kendall and his horrible book.
No. I will tell you, Rob, my dad wrote a book, and
it was better than Rob's.
God rest in peace. No, Rob's was better than my dad's.
Okay. Can we put her down under the bus?
And I was even in my dad's book.
Rob, put the photo back up on the YouTube stream, because if you look at that photo right there, you look like you're getting ready to interrogate me.
Look at how skinny I was.
Where were you the night of December 4th?
Think about all the.
Do you still have that dress shirt?
Maybe. I don't know.
I can't believe you're wearing a shirt that actually fits.
Maybe I'll wear it to Jeff Moore's event tonight.
There you go.
And so we're going to tomorrow, because so many people said, yes, we want this book. I'm going to autograph them. I'm going to number them. We'll get them to people. We'll announce it tomorrow. Casey has given the thumbs up. And now Hammer, as he's done throughout much of my life, will like to belittle my life's accomplishment. And you're going to just pull a random page up and do a dramatic reading.
Open up a page. I'll let you open up the book, Rob. Just open it up to anywhere. All right, here we go. As I sat in the corner in the dark, I realized very quickly, nobody likes me. My father likes me, but I feel like he's compelled to like me. Sometimes I wonder if these shirts are too tight that I wear on a daily basis.
Doesn't say that.
But then I realized, no, there's no such thing as a medium shirt on an aging, balding 20-year-old male. I ran some errands today. I ran into an up-and-coming, young, promising Republican named Eric Holcomb. We spoke for a few moments. I just knew we would be lifelong friends forever. One day, I hope to get on a radio show. It won't be a morning show, and it won't be an afternoon show. But I have a feeling that I'll be able to give just enough content to get to the drive times. The path less traveled, Rob Kendall.
Oh, that was way better than anything that was actually in that book.
You did really good. You know, if you ever turn this into an audiobook, you should have Hammer do the read
will
for
do that,
you.
Yes.
Our boss, David Wood, actually does like audio books. He's like a talent. He reads audio
That's
books.
what he does. That's his side hustle, huh?
So we'll have the big announcement tomorrow on how you can get one of these personalized autographed books, and I think I'm going to include a phone call from me in there as part of the deal. We'll
How
do a
about
package
a Rob
thing.
Kendall like revealing photo?
It's coming up this afternoon.
It's Ladies' Day on the Hammer and Nigel show. Casey's going to come by. We got the crazy coupon lady. Also, starting a new weekly segment, Tony Kennett. The Tony will join us. We'll talk some education stuff.
All right, it's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Thanks for coming by, Hammer.
Hi guys, it's Andrew. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, July 27th, we're running an unprecedented one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pine Grove Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. It's clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. My favorite part is that we can get rid of your ED without any pills. If you're ready to transform your love life, today is your day. Call us now, and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also, a gift that produces powerful results in the bedroom. You're going to love that, guys. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, worth $1,000. But call today, Wednesday, and qualify totally free. 317-552-1111. That's 317-552-1111. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pine Grove Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 317-552-1111.
This is a call to the self-starters, to the self-made, and the self-sufficient. It's time to declare a new kind of independence. Because Edelman Financial Engines is here to provide tailored investment solutions for your kind of wealthy. You should expect more from your wealth advisors. Our investment management approach is based on Nobel Prize-winning research, and our planners don't sell products to earn commissions. And because we're here for those who question the answers, we model more than 38,000 securities so we can better stress test your portfolio through thousands of scenarios. So no matter where you're going next, see what we can build for you. Call 888-899-4450. That's 888-899-4450. Or visit efewealthplanners.com to get your complimentary financial plan. Edelman Financial Engines. Built for those who built themselves.
Smart drivers know with regular service from the trusted team at Honda of Fishers, they'll get lasting enjoyment from their Honda. From oil changes to tire rotations to brake service and more, Honda of Fishers has you covered. Visit HondaofFishers.com to schedule today.
Coming up in 2 minutes, the case from both sides, why many Republicans and Democrats are not on board with the abortion ban. Plus, a child is dead in Muncie and her parents are in jail for it. All that and more coming up from the Shepherd Community Center studios after Fox News Radio. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
He can go back to the Oval Office. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. President Biden seems to have won his fight against COVID.
His physician, Dr. Kevin O'Connor, says the president has tested negative for COVID last night and again this morning.
Which means he can get back to working normally while wearing a mask around other people after
5 full days of isolation after testing positive for COVID last week and a full course of treatment of the antiviral drug Paxlovid.
Fox's Jared Halpern. We will hear from the president in a half hour, addressing us from the White House Rose Garden. Former President Trump's under even more scrutiny.
Trump has broken all the rules, and he's paying a price for it.
Democratic Senator Dick Durbin.
The Department of Justice is investigating the attack on the Capitol and the scheme to try to send bogus pro-Trump electors from states that President Biden won. The Washington Post reports investigators are questioning witnesses about their conversations with President Trump.
Fox's Rich Edson. Now, the former president wrote this morning on his social media app, it's more disinformation like the Russia scam, again claiming the election was stolen and rigged. It's back to court this hour in Minneapolis for 2 more fired police officers for sentencing and violating George Floyd's federal civil rights. They're also facing aiding and abetting charges in state court for not stopping Officer Derek Chauvin, who was convicted of murdering Floyd, kneeling on his neck. Brittany Griner back in court in Russia, where the American basketball star has been detained since February, and today Griner got to speak.
She testified for the first time on her own behalf in this month-long drug charge trial. She said she mistakenly packed those vials of medical cannabis, illegal in Russia, found when she was stopped at a Moscow airport in February. Critically, she said today, when she was detained, she was not read her rights, given access to a lawyer, and little of what she was told or documents forced to sign were translated.
Fox's Greg Palcott. Another interest rate hike is coming today that'll make mortgages and loans pricier, with the Federal Reserve trying again to lower surging inflation. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Trying to please everyone. Showers on radar, 74 downtown. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:02. No lawmakers on either side appear to be happy with the abortion ban being debated in the State House. State Senator Ed Charbonneau, for example, says that he voted to advance it out of committee, though, with hopes that more tweaks will be made by the full Senate.
I've sat here over the last 2 days getting physically sick to my stomach. No one has been able to or willing to shift from 2 very extreme positions.
The bill bans all abortions after 8 weeks of pregnancy, even in cases of rape or incest. Before that, though, you could get an abortion. For girls 16 or younger, that threshold would be 12 weeks. State Senator Mike Young says that he is leaving the GOP caucus over the bill. He's against any exceptions for abortion. A little boy shot and killed by his younger sister in Muncie Tuesday, and the parents are the ones facing charges. Cops and EMTs arrived at a home and took a 5-year-old girl who had been shot to Ball Memorial, where she died. Police say the girl's 6-year-old brother got a hold of a gun in the home and pulled the trigger, hitting his sister. Once that was apparent, they arrested the parents, Kimberly and Jacob Grayson. Both are charged with neglect, resulting in death. Alex Palou has been sued by his own racing team. John Herrick reports.
Palou was the IndyCar Series champion last year. This lawsuit is over his contract dispute with the team involving McLaren Racing. Both McLaren and Ganassi say that Palou is racing for them next year, but Palou says he's already signed with McLaren for next season. However, Ganassi has said that he's still under contract with them for next year because they chose to extend his contract. Chip Ganassi Racing also wants a judge to review this case before the end of August. John Herrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Just over $1 billion now in the Mega Millions jackpot. No one claimed the prize in last night's drawing. It's now the 4th largest lottery jackpot ever. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Ever get those midday cravings, but you can't decide what to snack on? With over 6,000 fresh, healthy, irresistible snacks, Nuts.com has you covered. A family-run business since 1929, Nuts.com has provided the freshest, highest quality snacks and foods for almost 100 years. Don't be fooled by the name. We offer a wide variety of the most delicious dried fruits, sweets, trail mixes, and more. All our snacks are carefully sourced to ensure we're offering the freshest ingredients on the market. We get cream-of-the-crop top picks from America's best farmers. Colossal-sized nuts and fruit bursting with full flavor and ample nutrients. Our nuts are roasted daily, and we ship fast for ultimate freshness you can't get anywhere else. Right now, first-time customers can get free shipping on their orders. That's free shipping on your first order by visiting nuts.com today. Don't wait to satisfy those cravings. Go to nuts.com for the freshest, tastiest snacks you and your family will love.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Engagement Ring Store.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
The Republican Party in Indiana sees zero problem in record spending, in record taxation.
And Casey Daniels.
You went out there and said, please vote for me. You debated other people on why you're the better person for the position. Suck it up.
This is the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Wednesday, July 27th, and things that are trending this hour. Singer Shawn Mendes has canceled the rest of his tour for a mental health break. Also trending, Notre Dame football. They have revealed their team uniform for their Shamrock Series. The uniforms will apparently be all white with the sparkly gold helmets. And lastly, trending, napping. New research says that if you nap regularly during the day, it has an increase in high blood pressure and even stroke.
Well, I just did a big thing about how I go home and take a nap.
That's bad news for both of us,
Yeah,
Rob.
that's
Maybe we should rethink the napping during the day.
Here's a serious question for you, though, Casey. Like, I have found the older I get, the less things bother me. Now, it doesn't mean that they don't bother me. I'm doing a great job of articulating this here. But in terms of, like, getting on something and not being able to get off of it, being upset about it, whatever, like, the older I get, the fewer things actually bother me to the point of like stressing me out.
Yeah. Good for you.
Now, there's not to say there aren't things that do that.
Yeah.
But in terms of the grand scale, like I think about when I was, I started my first business at 22 years old. And by the age of 23, 24, I had grown that to a pretty successful business, which I've said before, led me to the insanity of buying my own radio station. And I was so into that business, and I think about things that used to bother me and stress me out. It's like now at 38, how I would have handled something at 24 is just markedly different.
Completely different.
And I don't know if that's most people become that way.
Yes.
Or if it is it.
I think so. You don't sweat the small stuff.
It's like when they announced our radio stations plural were being sold. A bunch of people, and rightfully so, were like kind of like freaking out, like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen? And I was very much oddly at peace about it.
Were you?
It was like, we've done a great job here.
Yeah, you can only do the best you can do, and however it turns out, that's how it turns out.
And I think, knock on wood, it's going to work out pretty well, at least for now, for most of us, But the point is, it's like, what good would being stressed out about it have done? And that's something I was not capable of. Certainly 15 years ago or even 10 years ago. And I feel like that's growth on my behalf.
It is growth. What's the saying? Worry is interest you pay on tomorrow?
Right.
Something like that?
Like I worry about my family. I worry about my friends.
Yeah.
Their health.
Yeah.
Those sort of things. But everything else, it's just like, let's go.
I care less and less what people think of me.
Yeah.
Or especially the way I look.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is what we're working with.
Yeah.
This is what God gave me. I'm doing the best I can here. If you don't like it, sorry.
You're very well assembled. You have nothing to worry about.
Thanks. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Yeah, Kevin's getting in on that. He's laughing.
President Biden has tested negative for COVID-19 twice now. He is ending his isolation. He's had 2 negative tests in a row. His doctor says that he completed his 5 days of Paxlovid, and he has also completed 5 days of isolation. And he tweeted out earlier, back to the Oval.
Okay, so real quick, I didn't mean to stop you, but I'm going to stop you. Because now think about this. So both presidents who are in their mid to late 70s,
yeah,
neither one of them you would look at and go, boy, that's the epitome of great health. I mean, Biden's had cancer, claims he has cancer again. I don't know if they ever corrected that. Trump, look at Trump. I mean, Big Macs and sodas and, I mean, overweight. I mean, and he survived. And what Biden and Trump have experienced is what the vast majority of people who have had COVID experience. Now, Trump was a little bit more serious than Biden's, but within a certain period of time, and these are elderly people that are not the epitome of physical fitness, have resumed their lives. We lost track so early on in this process when we're shutting down societies and mask mandates and blah, 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 that the vast majority of even older people, much less people my age or Kevin's age, it was an inconvenience. It was a cold, some a little more severe than others. Some people were derailed a little bit longer than others. But we did not need to shut down society for this thing.
Biden says that he's ending his isolation. He will continue to wear a mask for 10 full days when he is around other people. And he quickly arranged a meeting in the Rose Garden where he's going to make an address. So I believe we will hear from him later today about how he's feeling.
What's he going to say? I lived? I mean, what is it? You had the COVID experience. What does he say? I had the COVID experience that the vast majority of American citizens who have had COVID had. Are we done here? I mean, what else is there to add?
I felt really sick. I'm better now. Thanks for your support. Well, he wants to reassure the American people that he is in top shape.
Very good.
Yeah. Let's talk about Donald Trump. For the first time since January 2021, he was in Washington, D.C.
Oh, yeah.
This time he was delivering a speech at the America First Policy Institute. He did not make any formal announcements, Rob, but boy, it sure did sound like he's running for something.
If you were to look up as close as you can get to declaring you're running for president without declaring you're running for president, there would have been this speech in the dictionary. Listen to this.
America's story is far from over. And in fact, we are just getting ready for an incredible comeback, a comeback that we have no choice but to make. We don't have a choice. We won't have a country if we don't make it. Through strength, we will restore our safety. Through hard work, we will rebuild our prosperity. Through courage, we will reclaim our liberty. Through love, we will repair our unity. Through success, we will rediscover our pride. And through unyielding determination together, we will make America stronger, safer, freer, greater, and more glorious than ever before. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's been a great honor. Thank you.
So he went on to say previously that he doesn't plan to fade into political obscurity. Instead, he felt compelled to remain engaged.
So I was watching this yesterday, and my wife was there, and she didn't exactly say it like this, but she asked, and I thought this was interesting. She said, why is he being so quiet and normal? And
that's interesting. I was thinking the same thing when we were just listening to it now. Like, he's kind of calm.
And I always think she is, at least on the Republican, Libertarian, whatever you want to call it, side, a good gauge, because she is way more conservative than I am, but she's not like outwardly political at all. And so I always will ask her things about how she feels about this sort of stuff. And I thought that was interesting that was her response, because this is what we've talked about with Trump, which is that speech is phenomenal. If you had gone away for a year and a half and made people miss you, and then you reemerge, that is a phenomenal speech to give that I'd talked about. Look, America's in a bad spot. It didn't go the way we wanted in 2020. We all have concerns about it, but you can't relitigate the past. What we can do is look to the future. I've learned from my mistakes. I'll be a better president this time. I love my country. Let's go, charge. I mean, that's essentially kind of what he's saying in a normal, monotone sort of delivery. The problem is he keeps doing all the other Trump stuff.
He doesn't stay that way.
Right.
Yeah. He goes back and forth between the two. He said that the country is on the brink. It's the weakest it's been since the Civil War. He said we have very little public safety. He said there's an invasion of immigrants. He said our streets are riddled with needles and soaked with the blood of innocent victims. He said we have drugged out lunatics. and that our country is now a cesspool of crime.
All of which are accurate. Now, what was interesting out of this speech is he delivered lines that were almost identical to the ones he delivered in Arizona, which tells me this is now going to be the talking point.
Right.
And we'll play it here for you, which is that he doesn't want to be doing this. He doesn't want to be in politics, but he has to run, even though it would be much easier not to. And basically what he's saying is, look, I don't want you any more than you want me. But it would be easy to be rich and be famous and go spend all my money. But I have to do this because I love you. Listen.
If I renounced my beliefs, if I agreed to stay silent, if I stayed at home and just took it easy, the persecution of Donald Trump would stop immediately. It would stop. But that's not what I will do. I can't do that. A much simpler life. Have to save our country.
He's the savior. He feels compelled. Do you really think, though, that he would go quietly into the night?
No, and everybody knows that, and that's the problem. That's why if he had gone away, it would have been a much better selling point. But you're going to have a real trouble sticking to that when you've been involved in all these Senate races, House races, governor races. It's still the same litigation of 2020. It's still the same pettiness with people who you don't feel did things exactly the way you wanted them done. That's a hard sell, which is too bad because this could have been a great sell.
Yeah. Insider trading. What is it? Well, we're going to talk about that coming up from 93 WIBC. Good morning.
The hottest news.
Currently hot. Happening right now.
Summer heat.
Scorching hot inflation.
Gas prices are so high. No end in sight. Border security. The gun violence. Massive red wave. Violent crime in our cities.
Extreme heat.
Stay cool. Stay informed at the top and bottom of the hour.
Timely information.
What you want.
Topics are hot ones.
And what you need.
It's going to be pretty hot out there today.
Beat the summer heat with 93 WIBC.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. The year started off with super high rates, but for the last 6 weeks, mortgage interest rates have dropped. A lot of banks and lenders are still charging those high rates, but at thehomeloanexpert.com, our rates are over a quarter point lower than the national average. With lower rates and a 10-day closing guarantee, we can have you in the home of your dreams by the end of the month. Ready to get pre-approved? Visit thehomeloanexpert.com.
The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
When you're an innovative business, every blinking cursor, every blank page is an opportunity. What will you do with it? Will you make something better or create something new? Our Dell Technologies advisors provide you with tools and expertise to do incredible things. Because we believe there's an innovator in all of us. For advice on smart PCs powered by Intel V Pro that's built for business, call a Dell Technologies advisor at 877-ASK-DELL.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Don't let summer pass you by. There's still time to add the patio of your dreams. Backyard living starts at IndyDecorativeConcrete.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
This guy's really hardcore, highly fanatical.
And Casey Daniels.
I love her! I trust her!
On 93 WIBC.
It's the illegal practice of trading on the stock exchange to one's own advantage through having access to confidential information. That is what insider trading is. And the SEC, the Securities and Exchange Commission, announced that a former Indiana rep has been charged with that crime, insider trading.
Steve Boyer is the guy's name. He was my congressman in the 4th Congressional District. Before that was called the 5th Congressional District. So the 4th which is the western part of the state of Indiana, basically Hendricks County, and then it stretched out to, I believe, the state lines, and then headed up northwest past Lafayette. From 2003 to 2011, he was also the 5th district, which was a similar district from 93 to 2003. So the guy was in Congress, you do the math on that, for 18 years, Casey. And Steve Buyer, as a congressman, was just terrible at his job. He was a guy that was there collecting a check, did nothing really of any sort of note that you would say, despite being there for 18 years, that was the betterment of society. And you look at this relationship, and now, again, these are just allegations. Everybody's entitled to presumption of innocence until proven guilty. But you look at this, it's an interesting story because it shows the incestuous relationship really that exists between like the consultant lobby world and then politics. Because what did he do? He got out of government after years in the government as a high power elected official and then becomes a consultant, where he essentially, in many cases, deals with either people who are the government, want something from the government, you know, people who want benefit. And that is not illegal, but it is a reminder to people of look at what the majority of these people, certainly at the federal level, it seems like, do. They're in government, and they don't, as the country was set up, you don't go kicking and screaming to Washington, you know, out of a sense of obligation, or there for a couple of years and then come home. This guy is in Washington for 18 years, and then his job becomes, you know, as a consultant. It's not like he's out running a company or, you know, it's just, who knows whether he committed a crime or didn't. The allegations are pretty serious. IndyCar had a big write-up on it. But it's just another example of what we harp on this show about how these people either clamor to stay in office, public office, or then when they get out of office, they find a way to deal with people that, you know, are in office. Todd Rokita is a great example, the guy who replaced him. Look at Rokita's life. Secretary of State, U.S. Congressman, tried to be a senator. As soon as he couldn't be a senator, he was plotting to be the Attorney General. Like, it's just one government. And in between, wasn't he on the board of Amtrak? Look at Diego. Diego's another great example. In 2018, I'm going to run for Secretary of State. Oh, wait, I can't win that. Now I'll run for U.S. Congress. I didn't win that. Oh, but I think I'd be good at being Secretary of State again. I call them professional office hoppers. Erin Houchin, now likely to be the congressperson in the 9th Congressional District. Look at her. Gets elected to the state Senate. Within a year, I think, she's running for U.S. Congress. Doesn't win that. Goes back to the U.S. Senate. Trey Hollingsworth decides not to run again. She couldn't sprint to the nearest office fast enough to file. And we keep rewarding these people. That's the problem. And in the case of Erin Houchin, she literally quit on her Senate constituents in the middle of session to run for Congress, and we elect these people.
So this guy, he is being accused of obtaining insider information to purchase around $1.5 million in stock before major deals were known to the public. And like you mentioned, we just did a story yesterday about corrupt politicians and how this new poll from the University of Chicago's Institute of Politics found that a majority of Americans think the government is corrupt and stacked against them. 56% of people said the government is corrupt.
And when it comes to dealing with, in this case, the Republicans, because they control our state, but if you're in a state where Democrats are calling the shots, it's not much different. It's just on the other side of the aisle. If you are a conservative in this state, and I cannot say this enough or long enough because I was around these people, I saw them do it, I saw how they acted, this is true. The Republican Party, if you're a conservative, not your friend. They don't like you for the most part. They don't want to be around you. They actually really despise you. They make fun of you. They use you, and come election season, they'll lie to you and use wedge issues to convince you that you have to vote for them. But they're not your buddy. And this is why I keep telling people, you have to walk away from these establishment parties. Now, you don't have to vote for a Libertarian. There are independents running. You can leave it blank. I leave most of my ballot blank every single time. But stop giving your vote away just based on a letter, because there's a good chance the letter doesn't like you.
This woman started her week in the great state of Indiana. And yesterday, she met with leaders and advocates marking the 32nd anniversary of the passing of the American with Disabilities Act.
Yes.
And of course, we're talking about our Vice President, Kamala Harris. And she introduced herself in a bit of a curious way, according to some people. Let's take a listen.
Good afternoon. I want to welcome these leaders for coming in to have this very important discussion about some of the most pressing issues of our time. I am Kamala Harris. My pronouns are she and her. I am a woman sitting at the table wearing a blue suit. And
so I understand the part about how she says she's sitting at a table and she's in a blue suit. Because she's talking to disability leaders, and this is to assist those that are visually impaired.
Right.
Okay, so the saying, I'm in a blue suit.
Right.
But why the pronouns?
Right. And why doesn't she do that every day if she's so concerned about disabilities? This is Pandora-palooza. If you are so concerned about that, why don't you do that every single day? And you're right, Casey. Other than complete and utter wokeness, like who would be, if it's someone who's visually impaired, who'd be hearing that, doesn't know she's a woman? Who would not know that? Kamala Harris is her name. She's the vice president. She has a voice of a woman. You would do that to make sure you are pandering to the most woke audience possible. And it's actually, if you actually believe the stuff she's saying, why are you not out there doing it every single day? Every time you sit down, I'm Kamala Harris, I'm wearing blah, 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 and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. It's pandering, and that is what these people do on both sides of the aisle all day, every day.
I feel like, is that how we have to introduce ourselves now to everyone? Like, hi, my name is Casey Daniels.
Yes.
My pronouns are she, her. My blood pressure is 118/90. My dress size is 4. I'm an empty nester. My toothpaste brand is Crest.
Well, you know what would help people know all of this, Casey?
What are we doing?
If they went over to our YouTube chat, if they went over to and just put Kendall and Casey in our YouTube browser and watched the show, majority of people would hopefully be able to see those things.
They would be able to figure that out.
So go over there and do that and hit the like button while you're there.
Okay. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. Thanks for listening.
Hi guys, it's Andrew. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, July 27th, we're running an unprecedented one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pine Grove Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. It's clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. My favorite part is that we can get rid of your ED without any pills. If you're ready to transform your love life, today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also a gift that produces powerful results in the bedroom. You're going to love that, guys. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, worth $1,000. But call today, Wednesday, and qualify totally free. 317-552-1111. That's 317-552-1111. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pine Grove Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 317-552-1111.
Why did Mayo Clinic choose Hancock Health as a member of its select Mayo Clinic Care Network? It might have been the fact that we have one of the nation's safest hospitals. It could have been our high patient satisfaction scores. It's somewhat less likely that it was our cafeteria's sushi Thursdays, but we doubt if that hurt anything. See what Hancock Health's new clinical collaboration with Mayo Clinic means for you at hancockregional.org/Mayo Clinic.
Masters Heating and Cooling is helping you in 2022 with $750 in Masters bucks toward a complete Carrier system install. Turn to the experts, plus receive perks like a free humidifier, 10-year parts and 3-year labor warranty, Masters Apple-to-Apples price match guarantee, and 0% financing for 72 months to qualified buyers. Visit mastersheatcool.com today.
Masters. Why? Just think about it. Why is the #1 selling brand of chainsaws not sold at Lowe's or the Home Depot? We can give you over 10,000 reasons. That's how many authorized local steel dealers you can find across the country. Visit one and you'll find a range of dependable gas and battery-powered tools, from trimmers to blowers. And you'll find service from experienced professionals. Real steel. Find yours at steelusa.com. Lowe's and Home Depot are trademarks of their respective companies.
Just 3 words tell you everything you need to know. They tell you why we employ more than 2,000 workers at our factory in Virginia Beach.
and why over 10,000 local steel dealers are putting battery power in the hands of Americans. Just 3 words: made in America. Real steel. Find yours at steelusa.com. The majority of steel products sold in America are made in America of U.S. and foreign materials. Batteries and chargers are sourced internationally.
Life is a collection of moments that last forever, so make them matter and make them count with that symbol of everlasting love. A diamond from Pierce Jewelers. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers. Marian University Preparatory School is a faith-based online private school currently enrolling grades 6 to 9. Financial aid is available. Visit k12.com/Marian, k12.com/MARIAN.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He's good. I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:30. President Biden has tested negative for COVID. His doctor said that he did so last night and this morning. That means he's leaving isolation, but he'll still mask up around others for 10 days. Too many illegal drugs are coming across the border, says Senator Mike Braun.
100,000 per year overdose deaths nationally, and 2,000 opioid overdose deaths every year in my state of Indiana.
He's blaming the border crisis and questioned White House experts about it in a Senate hearing Tuesday. More at WIBC.com. State lawmakers meet again today at 1:30 to continue discussion on a statewide abortion ban. The bill advanced out of committee yesterday. Right now, the measure allows for few exceptions for abortion. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC.
Don't like cricket. New home sales are cratering again. Experts, of course, are worrying about a recession. Good morning. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC at 11:31.
So we have talked at length on this show for a long time about what's going on in the housing market.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, for the past several years, the housing market was driven up by a variety of reasons. One, giving money out at super low interest rates.
Mm-hmm.
But what that also did was enable super powerful corporations to get into the housing game.
Mm-hmm.
And so essentially, you were not just bidding against, if Casey and I both want a house,
Mm-hmm.
we're not just bidding against each other, which is the normal process. Now, Kevin and his super powerful corporation, which corporations usually have a lot more dollars at their disposal than individuals, was also bidding against us. And Kevin wasn't bidding to live in the home in his super powerful corporation. He was buying the home to rent it to other people. So the amount Kevin could pay was higher than what Casey or Rob could pay.
And Kevin also had cash, which made the process a lot easier than what you and I were going through.
As usual, Kevin is the bad guy in everything. And so I said, let's talk to someone who understands, who lives in this world. And so my friend J.D. Thomas, great guy, former member of the U.S. military, just a phenomenal dude, is now in the home lending industry. And so we spoke earlier today with J.D. about just this topic and what role corporations have played in the skyrocketing home prices. Take a listen. So, JD, it's interesting. You and I have talked a lot about this. And when I was going through the home buying process, I found, and several real estate people told me, you are not just competing against home buyers, you are now competing against giant corporations. Is that true? And what impact has that had on home prices in central Indiana and across the country?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So the Indianapolis housing market remains warm. If we were having this conversation a year ago, I would have used the term red hot. In July of last year, most homes were snatched up within minutes of hitting the market. This was due to low interest rates, folks looking for more space after working from the residence for a year due to the corona crisis, and housing affordability that Indianapolis is known for. Unfortunately, this attractiveness of affordability attracted out-of-state hedge funds such as Pretium Partners that came into many suburban neighborhoods and snatched up homes for all cash and turned those single-family properties into rentals.
Hey, so let me ask you that. Let me stop you there on that. When you talk about for all cash, explain to us what that means when you say they bought it for all cash.
So what that means is there's not a financial contingency. So when a seller's agent and the seller is looking at that offer, they say, well, this person is coming in with essentially $100 bills, and we don't have to worry about whether or not they have bad credit or whether or not they have an issue with interest rates going up. So it's almost a slam dunk deal.
So it really expedites the process for them. Like if I buy a house, or Casey and I both bought houses here recently, when you buy a home, obviously you make the offer and it's contingent upon, hey, I'm going to get approved. I've got a certain window to do this. You're saying these corporations will go to you as a buyer and go, hey, you want to deal with us because, tomorrow you can buy a house.
Yes, no, absolutely. They're offering, 3 to 5 day closings. They have title companies kind of in their back pocket. So it's a really seamless process for a lot of these home sellers, especially last year.
J.D. Thomas is our guest. He's a lender in the home buying industry, and we're talking about the role corporations are playing in buying homes. J.D., what has happened? Has this always been prevalent? We just didn't know it. Has it become more prevalent recently? Why is that happening?
Well, because you have to look at what's going on in the market right now and how interest rates are increasing. So a lot of these hedge funds are looking for ways to leverage the assets that they currently have on their books. In Texas and Indiana, Florida, and all over the country, that company, Pritium Partners, is actually hooking up with a company called Onyx and East. And they're going to build 2,000 single-family homes. But the unfortunate thing about those single-family homes is that they will never be able to be bought on the regular market by the average person trying to become a homeowner.
And why not?
Because for them, it's a cash-generating proposition. For example, when I rented a house out in Indiana for $1,200 back in 2013, that similar house is going for almost $2,000. And so that increase in prices for them is a good bottom line, especially if you have a cash-generating property that you've paid all cash for.
Now, JD, I read recently that the average home stays on the market for 14 days right now. You said that the market is warm. Do you think that that's going to stay that way? Is the time frame going to extend? Houses are going to stay on the market longer or shorter? And how do these corporations coming in affect that?
Yes, so I actually pulled numbers this morning from MyBor, and we're seeing homes stay on the market for 40, 50, and 60 days.
So it's getting longer.
It's getting much longer. And even this weekend, I went to a couple open houses, and no one showed up.
And is that because we have such high interest rates?
It's the high interest rates. It's the fact that house prices have increased 20% year over year. So you have individuals who are otherwise able to buy a house a year ago when interest rates were at 3%, and now you find interest rates at 6% and housing prices 20% higher. So you are starting to see these large hedge funds move out of the Indianapolis market. But they've already done the damage and artificially increased prices in this market.
By the way, J.D. Thomas is our guest. I think this is a fascinating conversation. He's on the lending side of the home buying industry. We're talking about the role. This is something Casey and I have talked about. Obviously, we've both been through the home buying process recently. That large corporations being in the home buying process, the real estate buying industry is playing in terms of prices. Why are they out now? If they can come with cash, do interest rates affect them even if they're doing a mostly cash buying process?
Not so much, but they've increased rents to a point where there's not enough people currently in the market to actually take up those homes paying $1,800 to $2,000 a month.
Yeah.
Indianapolis, you used to be able to. I had a house that I had bought in 2010 for $97,000 out on the west side of Indianapolis. Sold it for $125,000 in 2013, and 2 years ago it sold for almost $310,000.
Same house.
Same exact house.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that, the average median income for Indianapolis hasn't gone up double. It's still around $45,000 to $50,000. So when you're looking at what rent rolls would look like on an all-cash offer at $300,000, you still have to make money to get your investors that money back that they're giving you to invest in those properties.
Casey and I, we talked about this offer. I don't know if we ever talked about this on air. When I was looking at homes, I looked at a house that I really liked, and I was somewhat familiar with the home. It had been years since I'd seen it. and walked through the home. Everything looked fine, but I saw moss growing on the roof. And I told my now wife, I said, we would really need to get that checked out before we make an offer on the house. And so I went to the guy who was showing the home, and I said, look, we like the house. We're interested. He said, well, all offers are due Monday. And I said, well, wait a second. I said, I just got a concern about the roof. I can literally see this moss growing out of the roof. I need to get that inspected. I can't get somebody out here. This is a weekend. I can't get somebody out here Monday. He said, all offers are due Monday. Am I wrong to be concerned that a whole bunch of people were forced to quickly, not forced, obviously no one held a gun to their head, but ended up buying homes that may have major issues, and because of this rapid buying process, a couple of years from now, a whole lot of people are going to be in for big surprises.
Yeah, no, I absolutely agree with that. I mean, and even with these individuals that were forced or kind of quickly making decisions, you had situations where the appraisal process couldn't even keep up with it, with how fast it was going. So you have a kind of a multi-pronged issue here with inspections that were rushed, people that were rushed into buying homes that might in a couple of years realize, well, this house isn't for me, and plus I got to replace this roof, and my insurance isn't going to cover it because, well, it wasn't inspected properly in the first place, but I can't really prove it because it's been 3 years after the fact. So I think that's going to put individuals in a precarious situation where they're going to have to decide how they're going to get that taken care of. Are they going to sell it, or are they going to actually fix the house?
So what advice would you give to someone who's trying to get into the housing market right now?
So I would say that, as we get into the winter months is when the market's really going to start cooling down, because you've seen houses that are using this new term called a price improvement, but in all reality, it's a price reduction, because there are fewer buyers in the market right now than there were a year ago, but there's more sellers in this market. So you're going to start seeing housing prices continue to fall, and I believe that as we get closer to the election, there's going to be some shenanigans that the Federal Reserve is going to play to make things look better than they currently are.
Yeah, there's my old libertarian friend, JD. There he is. I do want to ask you about this. And full disclosure, your wife is a real estate agent, but
yes.
I would think it is very important, like our friend Mark Dietel, our fabulous advertiser here on the radio station, to use a professional throughout this process, because, and obviously, like I said, we talk a lot about Mark Dietel, because there's a lot of traps in this whole process, and you see, a lot of people that may try to do it on their own, and man, just from a personal perspective, that seems really risky.
It does. No, absolutely it does. And the true benefit about using, a local lender such as myself is that we have an opportunity to sit down and have a cup of coffee, and you have an opportunity to yell at me to my face if I mess up your file. So it's a benefit, but it's also a drawback. And having that personal touch, that one-on-one interaction with your lender when you're making the biggest purchase that you'll probably ever make in your life is imperative to make you feel comfortable, even with the interest rates that have gone up, because as we well know, the interest rate on rentals is 100%. And even though interest rates are sitting at around 6% right now, historically, they're still very low. They are higher than they were in the last 10 years. But we're talking, if we go back to the late 70s, early 80s, interest rates were sitting at 15 to 17%. And people were still buying houses.
Hey, before we let you go, I want to get you out here on this. I'm very concerned about the renter world, because obviously, when these corporations get these homes, they're buying them to rent them. The fewer properties there are, the more the rent goes up. I'm super concerned about poor and middle-class people being able to stay independent in reasonable housing. Is that a fair concern?
No, it absolutely is. And I think that it's kind of the term, self-licking ice cream cone, where these companies, so Pretty & Partners actually owns a company called Progress Residential, which was started in 2012, which, as you look to these individuals are actually donating money to, they're not donating money to organizations that are actually trying to advance the process of homeownership. They're actually advancing the idea that you need to rely on somebody else for your housing. So I believe that they're actually trying to create a crisis of housing inaffordability, and they'll probably reach out to the government to ask them to control rent prices so people can actually stay in their homes.
JD Thomas, local lender. I thought it'd be fascinating to have a conversation about what's going on locally, because, man, prices have me worried right now, and I thought you gave some great information. Thank you, my friend.
All right, talk to you soon. Thanks again.
93 WIBC, it's Kendall and Casey Show.
At Tire Discounters, we do everything, but not everything.
Thanks for calling Tire Discounters.
Yeah, so do you guys do brakes?
Absolutely.
Shocks and struts?
Yes.
Balloon animals for my kid's party?
Ooh,
All right, oil changes.
Bingo.
Astrophysics?
Can you hold, sir? Hey, Brainiac!
Yeah?
Do you know astrophysics?
Yep.
Okay, sir, that's a yes.
How about coolant fluid exchanges?
Of course.
I'm still bummed about those balloon animals, though.
Plus brakes, shocks and struts, alignment, and more.
How much money have you lost in the stock market? You know, there's a way you could stop the bleeding and potentially make up for some of those devastating losses. It's Terry Stacy. Learn how you could get a competitive return on your money right now and receive a 5, 10, or as much as a 35% initial bonus on your investment. That's right. And you'll sleep well knowing your money is protected by some of the top-rated insurance companies in the world. To learn more, call Bill Demery, my retirement guy, at 317-349-5212. Get a competitive return on your investment that beats the bank and receive a 5, 10, or as much as a 35% bonus on your investment. To learn more, call Bill Demery at 317-349-5212. That's 317-349-5212.
Join Mark Patrick seminars and stop smoking now without cravings, irritability, weight gain, or your money back. Only $49.99 guaranteed. Also, let Mark Patrick Hypnosis destroy unwanted food cravings and lose the weight. Seminars Thursday, July 28th at the Hampton Inn and Suites in Fishers. Weight loss seminar 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 8 to 10 p.m. And Saturday, July 30th at the La Quinta Inn and Suites South in Indianapolis. Weight loss seminar 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Stop smoking seminar 2 to 4 p.m. Registration begins 30 minutes before seminar.
There's a reason Comcast Business powers more businesses than any other provider. Actually, there's a few. Comcast Business offers the fastest, reliable network, the peace of mind that comes with Security Edge, helping to protect all your connected devices, and the most reliable 5G mobile network. Want me to keep going? I can. Whether your small business is starting or growing, you need Comcast Business. Technology solutions that put you ahead and give you serious savings. Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Get internet and security for just $60 a month when you add mobile and save $480 your first year. Plus, ask how to get a $500 prepaid card with a qualifying gig bundle. Limited time offer, restrictions apply. Requires EcoBill and AutoPay. New Comcast Business 250 megabits per second internet and Security Edge customers only. 2-year agreement required. Equipment installation, taxes, and other fees extra and subject to change. Must add mobile within 90 days of internet install and keep all services for 12 months to receive discount. Comcast Business Mobile utilizes the network with the most Root Metrics 5G data reliability wins in 2H 2021. Results may vary. Award is not an endorsement.
Here's Terry Stacy to tell you what's going on with WIBC.
We're back on the road next week and taking the Home and Garden Show to the Indiana State Fairgrounds with the Indiana Pork Producers. Find us at the Indiana Pork Tent on August 6th, starting at 9 a.m. You don't want to miss it. And tune into the Hammer and Nigel Show from 3 to 7 all this week for your shot to win a 4-pack of tickets to the Indiana State Fair, July 29th through August 21st.
Grab more info online at WIBC.com.
It's Christmas in July at Sundown Gardens. 50% off Miss Mary's Christmas decor and 30% off all bald and burlap evergreens, shade, and ornamental trees. 186th Street and Spring Mill Road.
Honored to welcome the Association of Chamber of Commerce Executives annual conference to Indiana and discuss how we're working together with anyone who will join us to continue building the best place in the world to live, work, play, study, and stay. Love, Eric Holcomb.
What is that? What are you reading to me?
It's something that our governor tweeted out about, 53 minutes ago?
Wait. Tweeted out?
Yeah.
On his Twitter account?
On his Twitter account.
On his official Eric Holcomb governor Twitter account?
His blue checked account, yes.
Now, how long ago was that, Casey, that was tweeted out, you said?
10:51 is when he sent it out.
Boy, that is so wild.
An hour ago.
That is so wild and wacky, Casey, because, well, just like right before that.
Like a half hour before
that?
that?
We had done a whole segment on where the hell is the governor of Indiana while the abortion debate is raging literally in front of his office, and how weird it was that the governor of Indiana hadn't tweeted anything out on his official Twitter account in 5 days. That is so weird.
30 minutes after we said something, he did.
That is probably just a big, giant coincidence.
It's a coinky dink.
That is probably has nothing to do with the fact that everyone listens to this radio show, no matter how much they profess to hate us, that they all are intently tuned in. There's no way that's a coincidence,
You
right?
don't think anybody went, yes, sir, you should probably tweet something out this morning.
Now, I love the fact, who was the tweet for? What was it again?
It is the, let me see here, the Association of Chamber of Commerce Executives Annual Conference. Okay.
Now, this, he couldn't sprint to a phone to tweet that out fast enough because, well, his adult supervision is the Indy Chamber and the Indiana Chamber of Commerce. So that would make sense that, well, while the most important issue ever to come in front of him or this entire state is happening literally right in front of his door, he couldn't be bothered to offer an opinion on that. But hey, there's a Chamber of Commerce within a 73-mile radius. Well, let's get right over to that.
I run straight to the comments to see what people say. And third one down, where's my Indiana refund? Don't hold your breath.
Let's again just repeat what happened here. So for 5 days, there had been nothing. We point out how there had been nothing. Within 30 minutes, there's something. But it's not about the most important issue arguably to ever impact the state of Indiana. It's about him welcoming a Chamber of Commerce something or other, which is fine. We're glad they're here. Welcome to our state. But it does kind of give credence to the level of importance that some of us have pontificated the chamber plays in Holcomb's world, that nothing on what I want to see with abortion, screw those thousands and thousands of lives on the line. But hey, the chamber's here. Yay!
He's Rob Kendall. My name is Casey Daniels. It's 93 WIBC. And the jacket worn by retired astronaut Buzz Aldrin when he set foot on the moon sold for a record-breaking price. Did you hear about this? Sotheby's auction house said that they thought it was going to go for about $2 million.
Oh.
It went for $2,772,500.
It's really interesting because when you watch the collectibles market, and the majority of collectibles that are one of a kind or very rare collectibles do not normally end up on eBay. Now, some of them do, but the majority of them end up in these large auction houses, like you said, a Sotheby's, Christie's. There's various ones that do this, and one of the major reasons for that is what they get top dollar, but also in the business, it's called the juice, which is the fee that is paid. At most of these large auction houses, you can correct me if I'm wrong, the juice, the fee, is paid by the buyer on top of what they buy the item for. So if the juice is 10% of the house, and you bought that jacket for $2.7 million, you're paying 10% of $2.7 million to the house, or public school math here, public school education math, $270,000 as a buyer's premium on top of that item. So it is interesting that these items, when they're speculated, that's one thing the auction houses will do, is estimated value, to, in this case, $2 million, still continue to far exceed, in many cases, what the estimates are on these items.
It is the most expensive space-flown artifact ever sold, and the most expensive jacket ever sold as well.
Buzz Aldrin is kind of the forgotten guy, right? I mean, everyone knows Neil Armstrong. The first man to walk on the moon, Neil Armstrong. But they both took the same risk. They both flew the plane, right?
And the famous picture of the man on the moon is Buzz Aldrin.
Is it really?
It's Neil Armstrong you can see in the reflection.
What?
Yeah.
No, you're lying. No. I never knew that.
No.
And I thought I knew everything.
I could be wrong.
Boy, if you're wrong, you're going to get really...
I think that's true.
Really? The guy on the moon is not Neil Armstrong. Kevin, can you look that up?
You know what I'm talking about? The Earth is behind him?
Yes.
And
that's not Neil Armstrong?
No, I believe that's Buzz Aldrin because it's Neil who took the picture.
Well, I guess that would make sense because they would both have to be out there in order to take said picture.
Right.
That would make sense. I don't even know what you would Google, Kevin. Famous picture of man on the moon, Buzz Aldrin. I don't know. Sometimes in Google, I just start throwing words in.
Wait a second. Celebrated image of Buzz Aldrin's moonwalk taken by Neil Armstrong were sold at auction for $172,000.
No way!
The original NASA photographs.
Is Kevin, you are confirming that?
Yeah, I mean, from what I'm seeing in front of me, it looks like...
Yes.
That's mind-blowing, and it shouldn't be surprising because they both had to be out there to take the picture.
You thought you knew everything, Rob Kendall, and enter Casey Daniels.
Total win for you, 100%. Yes, Kevin.
You know what's also cool about Buzz Aldrin is he had a Disney character named after him.
The Buzz Lightyear guy?
I believe Buzz Lightyear is named after him.
That's very cool.
Yes.
Wow. So think about that. So Neil Armstrong is the one who gets all the credit, obviously first man. Do you think they fought over who got to be? Like, did they fight each other on the way out the door? Like, were they elbowing each other? Were they low blowing each other?
I don't think so. I think that was all planned out. I mean, they knew going up there who was going to lower the ladder, who was going to, because they didn't, is your foot going to melt when you step on the moon? I mean, it was all discovery.
Well,
so of course they
but
had
that
a plan.
had to be pretty depressing for Buzz Aldrin to know you got to do all the effort. You're taking all the same risk.
Mm-hmm.
You got to land the plane. And then this other guy forever and ever would be remembered in history. And yet the photo that is associated with the moon landing and the first moon walk isn't even the guy that gets all the credit.
You're so shocked
this. This is like a life-altering thing for me that was not Neil Armstrong, and all the space people are like, gee, what a dumbass, we all knew that.
Okay, so now I've seen people asking questions like, why did Buzz Aldrin sell this jacket? Why is it not in a museum? And here's the answer to that. Let's see. Aldrin's jacket is the only one from the mission available for private ownership because the Smithsonian does own the jackets worn by Neil Armstrong and Michael Collins.
He's 90. He's still alive.
He's 92 years old.
92 years old.
He said after deep consideration, he felt the time was right to share these items with the world, which for many are symbols of a historical moment. But for me, they've always remained very personal.
Does it say who bought it? Does the article say who bought the jacket?
It does not.
Because if you're sharing it with the world, okay, I sold it to such and such museum and the agreement is for 30 years it will be on display. Well, if you just sold it to a private person who's going to stick it in their closet, well, that's not on display to the world, is it?
No. The jacket, by the way, features his name on it. Also has the American flag on the left shoulder. On the right lapel, the famous NASA meatball logo is displayed.
Oh.
And it's made of beta cloth, which is a fire-resistant material.
We should have him on the show. And we should guise the interview as how does it feel to have gotten completely screwed by society?
You know what? All I have to say when it comes to a Neil Armstrong conversation, boiler up.
That's right. Was he, well, Neil Armstrong was Purdue, right? Yes, that's
Absolutely.
right. I got that one right at least.
Yes.
Boy, what a way to go out.
You need to brush up on your space
I
knowledge.
got totally owned, but now I feel like my life has changed for the better, and that's what we do on this show, Casey. We change lives for the better.
Changing lives. Thank you, Rob. Good job today. Kevin, excellent as always. Tony Katz is up next. Thank you for listening. It's 93 WIBC.
Hi guys, it's Andrew. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, today, Wednesday, July 27th, we're running an unprecedented one-day special you won't want to miss out on. Pine Grove Medical Clinic uses the most powerful form of wave therapy. It's clinically shown to repair blood vessels and improve blood flow. My favorite part is that we can get rid of your ED without any pills. If you're ready to transform your love life, today is your day. Call us now and you'll qualify for the assessment and ultrasound totally free. Also a gift that produces powerful results in the bedroom. You're going to love that, guys. And today only, we're offering 5 tune-up treatments to our patients free. This is our most lucrative offer ever, worth $1,000. But call today, Wednesday, and qualify totally free. 317-552-1111. That's 317-552-1111. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Pine Grove Medical Clinic now to qualify. This offer ends today. 317-552-1111.
8 years ago, we started climbing mountains to raise dollars and awareness for children battling cancer. Over the years, we've summited some amazing peaks, raising hundreds of thousands of dollars for our partners. On August 13th, we head down to South America for our biggest climb yet. Chimborazo is over 20,000 feet tall, and we are climbing it to raise money for St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. Learn more about our climbs and make a donation today by visiting keepclimbingfoundation.org.
If you want to win at any game or competition, whether it's in sports, your career, your finances, you have to have a solid game plan. Retirement works the exact same way. If you want a winning retirement strategy, you need a great coach, a manager, an expert.
And that's where Brian Singer and the Singer Financial Group come in. The Singer Financial Group puts together the pieces of a comprehensive retirement plan to make sure that your retirement years are the best years of your life every day you wake up winning. Singer Financial can help you make the next chapter of your life whatever you want it to be. Go to singerfinancialgroup.com or call 317-852-9153 to schedule a discovery visit. 317-852-9153. Find out how the Singer Financial Group can help you pursue the sweet life in retirement.
Investment advisory services offered through registered investment advisors Howard Bailey Securities, LLC, and AE Wealth Management, LLC. Working with Singer Financial cannot guarantee investment success or that specific financial goals will be achieved.
At 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning, our comfort specialist can handle any AC repair. Call 855-1-HOUR for $50 off your repair or visit onehourair.com.
Always on time, or you don't pay time.
Terms and conditions may apply. Independently owned and operated, licensed in their respective state or county.
On the level, on the go. 93 WIBC Indianapolis.
Coming up,
you're going to traumatize them again.
The president has tested negative for COVID.
There's obviously lots of talk out there.
A recession will mean that you'll see things slow down.
I'm ready to play football with these teammates, so let's go.
This is the WIBC News at noon.
Some on both sides are not on board.
Rain chances stick around into the afternoon with a high of 81. Scattered showers overnight, low of 71. More rain, but a bit warmer tomorrow. I'm John Herrick.
And I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 12 noon. Some changes to the proposed ban on abortion in Indiana being discussed in the State House. The exceptions for rape or incest in the bill would now only apply to pregnancy within 8 weeks, 12 weeks for girls 16 and younger. Democratic State Senator Greg Taylor.
These 16-year-old girls have been through a traumatic experience, but you're going to traumatize them again. At 16 years old.
Those getting an abortion within those time frames would also have to sign an affidavit for their medical file. The bill advanced out of committee Tuesday.
But it's upsetting many Republicans, too. Jasper Republican Mark Messmer voted against the bill in the committee vote.
This is one of the most complex issues any of us will ever try to tackle in our lifetime. And this just demonstrates the near impossibility of threading the perfect needle in a compressed short special session.
Also, State Senator Mike Young announcing that he's quitting the GOP caucus. He says he disagrees with the exceptions for rape and incest, saying they commit certain innocent unborn babies to a death sentence.
President Biden has tested negative for COVID. Fox's Jared Halpern.
President Biden completed 5 full days of isolation after testing positive for COVID last week and a full course of treatment of the antiviral drug Paxlovid. His physician, Dr. Kevin O'Connor, says the president has tested negative for COVID last night and again this morning. He will now discontinue those strict isolation measures, though will continue to wear a mask for several more days when around others. President Biden has been working from home, attending meetings this past week virtually. On Capitol Hill, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
Stocks opened higher this morning as investors wait for a key decision from the Federal Reserve. The Fed is supposed to raise interest rates later today by 0.75 of a percentage point. The decision on that is designed to slow down inflation, which is hitting Americans at the highest levels in decades.
Chip Ganassi IndyCar driver Scott Dixon hasn't been able to say much about his teammate Alex Palou's contract dispute between he, Ganassi, and McLaren.
There's obviously lots of talk out there, but I think it's something between Alex and the team, and nothing I really know much about, to be honest. I'm sure there'll be lots of news of how and where that might possibly go.
Well, it's going to court. Chip Ganassi Racing is suing Palou in Marion Superior Court. CGR says that McLaren improperly tried to sign Palou to a contract for next season.
Palou says he has signed with McLaren for 2023, but Ganassi says that's impossible because they chose to pick up their option to extend their contract with Palou through the end of 2023. All sides are not budging on the matter. Ganassi hopes that the case will be heard before a judge before the end of August.
Don't call him Darius Leonard anymore. We'll explain next on 93 WIBC.
Coming up on Tony Katz today,
the spin from the White House on recession has finally made it to their counterparts in the media. That's after the news at noon on 93 WIBC.
You may be hearing an argument about whether the country is in a recession. Chris Davis reports on why they're arguing in D.C. and what it means for you.
A recession will mean that you'll see things slow down, with more people out of a job and lower wages.
Now all of a sudden the Biden administration is trying to change the definitions of what a recession means.
Republican Congressman Jim Banks of Indiana tells Washington Watch with Tony Perkins that while the Biden administration argues that low unemployment means we're doing okay, that inflation equals lower wages.
You can't message your way out of this economic picture that we find ourselves in.
He says government must get a handle on spending. Chris Davis, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A little boy shot and killed his younger sister in Muncie Tuesday, and the parents are the ones facing charges. Cops and EMTs arrived at a home and took a 5-year-old girl who had been shot to Ball Memorial, where she died.
Police say the girl's 6-year-old brother got a hold of a gun in the home and pulled the trigger, hitting his sister.